Sammy, while you're at it, report me to the American Bar Association at the second time. It'll make just as much sense. And then call up Coca-Cola and have them remove my membership. And then while you're at it, why don't you contact PS4 Live and get them to remove my account at the same time? Contact YouTube, contact Squatters, contact Parlay, contact BitChute. I want you to contact everything that I am on and tell them that you are reporting me to the police because, in my opinion, you are a pedophile when you are sharing porn with children. You fucking pedophile!
Welcome back, everybody, to Crows of Judgment. I am so sorry. I was actually here sitting at my computer half an hour before we went live. But you see, before we went live, my wife came into the room and told me I needed to eat dinner. So we've been in the process of ordering food, and apparently I'm not allowed to eat steak because of my cholesterol. Right? Go ahead, say it.
You can't eat steak all the time. Steak is good in moderation, but you are steakhead.
Okay, but it's okay, but
you're gonna get some salmon.
Okay, but I don't want the salmon.
Yeah, you do.
Okay,
today's November 1.
Can I just not eat?
November 1.
Can I just eat some
water?
We're
starting off the year nice.
Yeah.
And years can start whenever we want it. So November 1 is the start of our year.
Okay, but if I can't have delicious steak, I'd rather not eat.
Order you salmon, shut
up. Oh man. Give me okay, all right. So
and they said you late as always. Mm-hmm.
Okay, look, but this time I was here, and you know I was here.
Don't be sorry for him, okay? He's fine.
No, I'm not fine. I'm actually really upset about this.
He's fine.
No, I'm not. What kind of titan? Like, I'm literally ordering from a steakhouse.
He eats steak whenever he wants. The one time I'm like, no, babe, just don't get steak this
Okay, but like, what kind of person demands that I can't eat steak?
You had steak this weekend.
Okay, that was
you made it for everybody and served it.
I made it for everybody. It wasn't just for me.
I know, that was good, but I'm saying like...
Okay, then we are agreed. I should eat steak now.
November 1, salmon.
What about November 1?
Salmon.
No, it's the start of the month. I should eat steak I'm going to eat steak at the start of the month.
Start of the salmon month.
Just in case I can't eat it later.
They don't care.
Look,
Entertain your people.
Okay, then I'm gonna eat my steak then. Okay, all right. Can I order my steak?
Did you get me some veggies?
Yes, I ordered you veggies.
Did you get yourself some veggies?
I got myself
not mashed potatoes, not macaroni. Vegetables.
Okay, I will order myself
vegetables.
Then I'm eating steak.
So no, you're gonna get veggies regardless.
No. You're about to compromise with me, so
no steak with steak.
God damn it! Fine, whatever. Jesus. Okay, look, it's been ordered. All right, I've got to do the show. Okay.
Okay, have fun with the show.
All right, I love you, baby. They'll be here in like an hour.
What? I'm be sleeping an hour.
No, you better stay awake.
Oh my god.
All right, love you, baby. Can you shut the door?
You want me to leave Buggy?
Yeah, leave the little demon cat. It's okay.
Okay.
All right, love you, baby. Bye. All right, everybody. What?
I want to play with Buggy. I'm not paying attention to you.
Okay, then take him and get him out of the room. Okay, all right. Jesus, I gotta start the show.
I'm not bothering.
Okay, yes, you are. We've been live for like 4 minutes.
Okay.
Baby, shut the door. Oh my God. Okay, everybody. Welcome for real back to Con Order. We have a fun show tonight. It is November 1st. That has nothing to do with eating fucking steak or salmon, but it is No Nut November, which we will be discussing my thoughts and opinions on that. We have I think a pretty funny tweet. I guess somebody decided to hand out a mask instead of candy for Halloween, and they apparently were gifted something. Elon Musk went after the United Nations And I didn't even know about this story, but it's pretty fucking brutal. And then we also have the Ruby Rose situation. So for those of you who don't know, Ruby Rose was the actress who was working on Batwoman. And, suddenly after the first season, she just left the project, which is really weird. And they replaced her character. They didn't kill her off. So it's still open for her to come back. But she came out recently with a bunch of things on Instagram. I think a lot of it's been deleted, although I'm not sure all of it has, honestly. Now, CW or Warner Brothers has responded to a lot of this stuff, but I want to show you what she said, basically complaining about how everything was being handled. And what my thoughts and opinions are. But also, I was told that the affidavit for the shooting that took place on the film set of Rust does reveal more information. And Aura read it, and Aura said that he thinks that I could be wrong about whether or not Alec Baldwin has any responsibility. So I'm going to read through it, okay? And I haven't checked it out beforehand. So if I see it live and I change my mind, we'll be there together. But to open the show with, and I wish Sen was here because this is one of his guys. This is one of his people. Somebody did something bad on the YouTubes. Kai, for those of you who aren't aware, Kai accused Sen of being a filthy fucking racist. And well, here, let me go back one. There you go. You got a copyright strike. Suck it up. I hope anyone else you've given a hard time to does the same. I feel for anyone else, but you in this situation, LMFAO, I don't mind the backlash. You are that annoying / full of it. I'm happy this happened to you. So, look, I don't know who this guy is, right? I don't know who this person he's talking to. Maybe they are a really annoying motherfucker, okay? Maybe they are fucking angry slug levels of fucking annoying, right? But I got Kai, who is saying that he put out a copyright strike on the guy because he's annoying. He doesn't care if he gets backlash for it because the other person is full of it. I don't even know what to fucking say about that, right? Like, that's people say mask off. I don't know if I would necessarily say mask off. I think Kai is pretty open about what a piece of shit he is. But look, man, if you're going to put out a strike on somebody, it's got to be for legitimate reasons. I like somebody. There are people, don't get me wrong, that annoy the ever-loving shit out of me, right? I would never just put out a fucking strike on them just for the sake of putting a fucking strike on them, right? And like even in the situation with Edwin and Deity, right? I remember when I talked to Edwin told me that he was considering putting this strike on Deity. And I was like, I mean, look, I get it, right? Deity is, Deity's a little fucking mental. And, he was within his rights to put out the strike. I said it's, you're going to get backlash, right? But at least then in Edwin's case, even if you don't like the YouTube rules, he was playing within those rules, right? Kai's openly admitting to just straight up abusing the rules and breaking them. So I'm like, what a piece of shit. Like, again, I don't know who this other guy is. I don't know if he's a bad guy. But like, if you're putting out false strikes on people, that's fucking low, right? That's really fucking low. And if you're the type of person to do that, I think everybody needs to be really fucking careful, being around you. Like, I sit there and I say, if you're a content creator of any kind, or you've ever done content, right? Sen. Harley ratioed Kai so bad. Cry called his more successful girlfriend to help him. Oh, Kai called his more. Oh my god, really? Well, I mean, like, dude, he's okay. Kai cried. Okay, all right, dude. Sen, do you want to hop on and talk about this guy? Because like I saw this, I was like, where is Sen? Sen's gotta fucking love this story. But like I mean, I'm looking at it. I'm like, the dude's just saying he openly abused the copyright system, right? And he did it because the guy annoys him. Like, what kind of fucking excuse is that? Dude, hurry up. I'm gonna wait to talk about this more until you're on, because Kai is one of your rogues gallery people. Fucking Christ! All right, now let's talk about this fucking Elon Musk story. Now, for anyone who's paid attention to the Amber Heard stuff, you probably don't like Elon Musk very much, and I think it's totally understandable. But this is holy shit. I saw this like, oh my fucking god. Elon Musk, Jesus Christ. Okay, so there was this back and forth that took place, right? There was this article that was posted saying that, you know, if Elon Musk, like 2% of Elon Musk's wealth or something like that, could end world hunger. Right? It was something really fucking stupid. Actually, let me see if I have the. Hold on. I want to start from the beginning, okay? Just so that you're all aware of how this whole thing began, so you know how it all fucking ended. Here we go. So, 2% of Elon Musk's wealth could solve world hunger, says director of UN Food Scarcity Organization. So this is from CNN Business, right? And Elon Musk goes, if WFP can describe on this Twitter thread exactly how $6 billion will solve world hunger, I will sell Tesla stock right now and do it. Now, he also said it has to be open source accounting so the public sees precisely how the money is spent. Now, look, clearly he's just... I doubt he would ever do this, but you know, it's just calling their fucking bluff, right? It's stupid to say $6 billion would solve world hunger. Now, this is where things just get fucking mental, right? Headline not accurate. $6 billion will not solve world hunger, but it will prevent geopolitical instability, mass migration, and 42 million people on the brink of starvation, an unprecedented crisis and a perfect storm due to COVID conflict climate crisis. And now, Elon Musk goes like, what happened here? And I'm going to get into that, but just so you can see here, David Beasley, the official account of the executive director for the UN World Food Program at WFP. So there you go. The guy who runs it, the guy who runs the World Food Program. You saw here, he responded to Elon Musk asked what happened here, and this was the article that he linked. Starving children as young as 9 forced to give UN officials oral sex to get food. Now, that's fucking horrific. That's fucking awful. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, you've got the fucking dude who's running their food program. And he's talking about, like, if you give us $6 billion, motherfucker, why? If Elon Musk gives these motherfuckers $6 billion, are they gonna, like, use it to hire as many fucking pedos as possible? Are they gonna, like, go out there and, like, bankroll fucking EDP? Is EDP gonna represent the WFP, right? Motherfuckers, Jesus. Like, what is this? Holy shit. I again, if you don't like Elon Musk over the Amber Heard stuff, I completely get it. But this entire exchange that took place on Twitter here was really interesting to see. And I always appreciate it when anyone slaps somebody from the United Nations, because I can't think of a like, I want to say useless, right? But they're not useless. They are very fucking effective at just being god awful, right? But anyways, I found this really interesting. If you didn't, I completely understand, but it's always nice to see the UN get put in this place. Let's move on to the next next little mini topic. This individual named Carl Bayer. Some kids have been getting upset about this, but frankly, I am beyond caring. There's a pandemic going on, and you're spreading it. Go home. Go home. It isn't safe to trick or treat during COVID. And he leaves out a basket with some fucking mask on. Like, dude, I literally cannot think of anything more fucking annoying, right? I can't think of anything more fucking annoying than you leaving out masks for people on Halloween. Like, come on, dude. Come on. And look, the thing is, people liked it too. 2,600 people fucking liked this motherfucker's tweet. And I'm going, what a piece of shit. Absolutely, 100%. Well, someone egged my house and for some reason wrote, "Let's go Brandon" on the garage with ketchup. I hate Halloween. Now, look. I would never advocate for breaking the law in any way, shape, or form, but this is hilarious, and this is what you do. If you do not have candy to give to kids on Halloween, and there are kids that live nearby, they should egg your fucking house. If you disagree, you've clearly never been a kid. And this Carl person is a piece of shit, and anyone who liked those fucking tweets and supported him refusing to give out candy on Halloween is also a piece of shit and a human degenerate, and I think we can all agree to that. And if you disagree, well, then you can just leave the chat right now. Get out of here. You're not welcome. And I think it's also important to just mention that before we jump into the Ruby Rose stuff, it is officially No Nut November.
Don't believe me? Well.
Silence, wench. I do not wish to be horny anymore. I just want to be happy.
Don't believe me? Well.
All right, so it is No Nut November. We have a lot of virgins in the chat. Virgins, you are not allowed to do anything. But if you are married, you are allowed to do whatever. Okay, there we go. Those are the rules. So everybody in chat, I feel so sorry for you. Anyways, let's talk about Ruby fucking Rose, okay? So as you can see here, I'm going to tell the whole world what really happened on that set. So this is from her Instagram, okay? I will come for you. So what I will come for you. So what happened to me never happens to another person again. And so I can finally take back my life and the truth. Shame on you, right? And I was going through that and I was like, oh, this is pretty fucking direct shit, right? This is really fucking direct. As you can see here, Peter Roth, you are first up. You are chapter 1. Not sure if you left after getting promoted to the highest position because you just couldn't stop making young women steam your pants around your crotch while you were still wearing said pants on. If you left after putting a private investigator on me, who you fired as soon as the report didn't fit your narrative. Either way, when it comes to you, there's already an army waiting for you. So Ruby Rose is accusing Peter Roth, who works for the CW, the Warner Brothers, and everything, of Harvey, like basically being a Harvey Weinstein, right? Like steaming. Okay. So she says steaming his pants while he's still wearing it, having having the young woman steam his pants and everything. I'm like, oh my God. Apparently, according to her, he had a private investigator investigate her. And when the investigator turned in a report, he fired the investigator because the report didn't match what he wanted to match. Now, look, the first claim, unless she's got somebody that's willing to come forward and say, Jesus, Alice, dude, I'm reading the story right now. This is from Aura, okay? It's literally from Aura. You're good, okay? But like, God damn it, where was I? Yeah. So if you left out putting private investigator, so the thing is that's a serious claim. I mean, maybe if she would have had to have spoken with that private investigator. And they would have had to confirm that to her. So look, I'm willing to believe her if she can get like somebody to corroborate it. But at the same time, like, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. She's got to actually prove what she's saying there. But if that's true, if this motherfucker had a PI run an investigation on her, the investigation came up clean, so he fires the investigator. Well, I mean, like, that's fucking shady as all shit. Like, that's extremely fucking shady. But I don't think it necessarily means, like, abuse, right? Now, her claiming that he's, like, getting young women to, touch his pants and shit, she's got to have somebody to come forward with that statement. I'm willing to believe it happens. I mean, again, fucking Weinstein. But also, like, unless you actually see it, I don't know. But I've seen the acting on the CW shows. It would actually make a fuck ton of sense if the executives were hiring people based on their ability to use their mouths. Anyways. Cut to 3 weeks later after this video. It's what is this? Like, I hate the fucking font she used. It's worse than abnormal. This was diagnosed years ago, but if I got an X-ray, we would make our day. I have documented this for years. We wouldn't make our day, like, on it. On top of that, I have enough documentation to make a 1-hour documentary. Pray tell, what else would you like me to share? The broken neck or the broken rib split in two, and the tumor. Holy shit. Yeah, like, it sounds like she's saying that she was really badly injured. The video of Ruby talking to the doc, a fan re-upload due to she only posted her story. I'll take a look at that. Like, let's see. Is that a fan re-uploaded? Okay, I can share that. Give me a second. So let's see here.
Where it cracked through there, but that line you see on the rib on the other side, you don't have one there like that on the left. So the right side, right in the head of that right fourth rib, and it's formed this dense white, which is called sclerosis or hardening. That normally you see here, the inside of the rib is light, where you form marrow, and I don't quite know why the head of that fourth rib has.
Okay, so basically the doctor's just describing how badly her ribs were. Okay, so here's the thing, though. Let me go back to that story, because I don't know if she says that the damage was caused by this. Goes like, this was diagnosed years ago, but if I got an X-ray, we wouldn't make our day. I documented this for years, so it's like I'm really confused. She talks about like having a broken neck and broken rib, but she doesn't say that what's going on in that studio has anything to do with, like, okay, so you can see right here. Cut to 3 weeks later. So, like, did I miss something? No. Like, it goes from here to here, And I don't see anything here saying that this happened on set. Maybe the screenshots are out of order though, so maybe there's something I can see later. Let's see this one. Terrorman said, who said I was too stiff on Batwoman. Imagine going back to work 10 days after this. 10 days, or the whole crew and cast would be fired, and I'd let everyone down because Peter Ross said he wouldn't. Oh my gosh. He wouldn't recast, and I just lost the studio millions by getting injured on his set. Oh my god. Okay, all right. So, okay, all right, there you go. So it's literally in the next image. So she got injured on their set, okay? She gets injured on the set. And this guy, okay. Look, this is all alleged. She's accusing him. I'm willing to believe her because, again, if you've seen the acting on the CW shows, it makes sense that a sleazy fucking pervert is the one casting these motherfuckers. You go to the next slide under the video. Let me finish reading this, but I'll take a look at it because it should be the next image up then. Don't believe anything you read. Okay, that's why I say allegedly. She could be lying about all of this, right? But if she's lying, like one of the things that she said here, if she is lying about, it's so easily disproven. It would make no sense to me why she would lie other than she thinks that she can just get away with lying and nobody will question it, right? And that's saying that this investigator was hired by Peter Roth and then fired when the investigator turned in a report that he didn't like, right? So if that's the case, right? If he hired somebody to investigate her, probably with studio money, and that investigator said, hey, she's good, and so he fires that investigator, that to me, based on what she said there, she has to be able to prove that, because if she doesn't, like, I would immediately just go, okay, I can't trust anything else that she says. Like, and all she really needs is the investigator to come forward and give a, statement saying that happened. But I just don't know how far any of this stuff's going. Obviously, she's taking it to Instagram. So, like, I don't know. Maybe there is going to be some sort of legal action because she's claiming that she was injured on set. And then this Peter Roth guy said that, she needs to get back to work. And if she doesn't get her ass back to work, everybody's being fired. The studio's going to lose millions of dollars, and it's all her fault, right? That, like, she got like okay, all right. She's got to have like some sort of message from him or something, right? Her surgery video you can watch Instavids on PC Live as long as you get. Like, I don't want to watch the video of the surgery. I trust that she was injured, but I don't know if she was actually injured on set or not, right? Like, she's claiming it happened on set, okay? But again, she's claiming that there's nothing there to actually prove it. Yeah, no, like I understand what she's claiming, but again, like, unless she's got something to prove it, it's a little different. Here, Comic Con Ruby Rose. Imagine taking a huge pay cut to play a passion project, being so excited about Comic-Con, and then being told they would not adjust the schedule so I could attend, but then saying, we won't announce it, you have to, and me putting my foot down and saying, why must I be the face of this, only to be told if I didn't do this video, they would be silent and people would turn up to find out on the day I wasn't there. I folded. Now, we talked about this in one of our streams previously, right? And that's this idea that but then being told, cover your scar. We don't want to see that scar on the video. And you wonder why I posted my surgery video. God damn. So, look, I mean, if they're telling her to hide the scar, then I could see why they would do that. But also maybe they're doing that because they don't want people knowing that she was injured on their set. Like, I'm unsure because, look, like, Ruby Rose isn't a small-time actor. Like, she's not the most famous actress, don't get me wrong. But, you know, she has been in some really well-known projects. She was in John Wick 2, which, again, even whether or not you like John Wick 2, I just mean, like, she's been in some big-budget films. So, you know, she's probably got the money and she's probably got the people around her that it seems absurd to me that I guess she's working on a TV project, but if she gets injured on the set, like, you can't like I mean I don't know if the studio did anything like necessarily illegal, but like in terms of like PR, you have an actress that got injured on your set and then you forced her to go back to work immediately. Like that's not something people look very favorably on. Again, that's if it's true. And I'm going to get into the studio responses afterwards too, because there have been there have been some statements from people that work on the set complaining about her, but I want to talk about that because it seems a little sus to me. I'm not going to lie. Her video bowing out of Comic-Con, you can watch it. Okay, so this video here. All right, so let's stop sharing and let's play the video. So this is her bowing out of Comic-Con.
Hey guys, it's me. I come with bad news, sad news. I will unfortunately not be able to make it to Comic-Con this year, and it is devastating. I have wanted to go to Comic-Con for a million years, and never did I think that I would be invited as a guest and to be speaking on 2 incredible panels, let alone have my face plastered everywhere, and hotel keys and then the side of a hotel and an elevator, and my face is literally everywhere. But I'm not going to be there, which stings a lot. But just know that we tried everything that we could humanly to be there. It wasn't until really now that we realized there wasn't any other way to finish this episode, this ambitious episode that we're doing, and create this amazing show that really is special. And we want you to love it and be proud of it and be entertained and to laugh and to cry and to be empowered. And that means that in this particular instance, I got to work and bring Kate Kane and Batwoman to the screen and not review to a panel. So I'm really sorry. I just talked about myself in third person. I'm also really sorry about my hair. This is what happens when I've had the cowl on for too long. And I just think adding product will fix it. It's not a thing. I love you guys. I'll make it up to you. And I'm very appreciative of all the support so far. Thank you so much.
You wanted to see her at Comic-Con. Wait, when? When? I'm like trying to remember when she was at Comic-Con or when she was scheduled to be at Comic-Con. But like, it doesn't sound like, was that over the injury or was that because, hold on, let me just read this again. God damn. Like, I can't tell if that was over the injury or if that was over filming, but it sounds like it might have been over filming. But regardless, you know, it seems to me really shitty if if she's damaged on their set and then she has to pull out of Comic-Con and the studio is not willing to like support her, because that's what it sounds like what happened. Again, it doesn't sound like there was a breach of contract there. It just sounds like it's a shitty way of treating somebody that's working for you, right? I guess that's the biggest thing. So, like, it just everything that that's happened so far, it just seems like a terrible way of treating an employee, like a really, really bad way of treating an employee. Okay, all right. Like when I get there, Alice, you got to calm down though. Like I'll get there when I get there. Let's see, because like I got like this email is massive, and I haven't even got into her like super long text document story, and that's before we even get into the emails. So I'm a pretty long distance from there. Let's see. Let me go back into it though, because this is more interesting to me than a lot of the drama that that we've covered. Because what you have here is I want to say I want to say like a well-known actress, right? A decently well-known actress, right? Who is alleging, gosh, I don't even, I want to say abuse, right? And I guess you could call it that, but nothing so strong. But more like just alleging really, really bad treatment by this by these people, and potentially like some illegal shit too, because that director is, you know, again, I'm willing to believe it, casting girls based on, you know, who touches his pants the best. I don't know. San Diego Comic. Oh yeah. But like, what year though? Was that like was that 3 years ago? I want to say that was 3 years ago. Like, I didn't know that you wanted to see her. But I mean, you know what? You know what? Apparently it wouldn't have mattered. All right, so images of her spine, which look bad. Okay, let's see. I wouldn't return for any amount of money, nor if a gun were to my head, nor did I quit. I do not quit. They ruined Kate Kane and they destroyed Batwoman, not me. I followed orders, and if I wanted to stay, I was going to have to sign my rights away. Any threats, any bullying tactics, or blackmail will not make me stand down. A crew member got third-degree burns over his whole body, and we were given no therapy after witnessing his skin fall off his face. Oh my God. Jesus. That actually happened? Let's see. Hold on. That woman, crew member. Oh wow, crew member burn. First thing pops up. No. Okay. All right. I don't. Everything's just from her claim here. They also apparently she claims later she was nearly blinded, so that'll probably be popping up here. You left her from Oitimba? What the fuck is Oitimba? Guys, what is Oitimba? I don't know what you're talking about, baby. 2019? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That was 3 years. Oitimba. I have no fucking clue what that is, though. All right, so a crew member got third-degree burns over his whole body, skin falling off his face. That just sounds fucking brutal, though. Like, okay, this is the type of thing what I mean where, like, it's an extraordinary claim. If you're telling me someone was burned so bad, skin was literally falling off their face, like, come on. I remember when Batwoman was going on, a lot of people were reporting on it, right? And I mean, a lot of people were reporting on it. Yellow Flash, Quartering, Tug. I'm pretty sure Neurotics was talking about it too. Like a lot of channels that cover, fucking pop culture, comic books. A lot of the comic book channels talked about that show when it was happening because it was such clusterfuck, right? And you know what? There was a base of people that tuned in to watch videos just shitting on Batwoman, right? So, like, if you're telling me that there was a crew member that was burned all over his body and his face, like his skin was literally falling off, like, how did nobody hear about that? Right? Like, how did nobody hear about that? Like, am I insane? Right? Like, am I crazy? How did nobody hear about that? Like, people were paying attention. Like, I'm not saying they were watching the show, but like, people were paying attention to the news around the show. There are plenty of channels that look into what happens on the set and pay attention to what insiders are telling them, right? Fucking Clownfish TV, right? They get insider information all the time. How did nobody know about an incident where someone was burned so bad, skin was falling off their face? You know what? I'm willing to be charitable and just say that maybe she's being hyperbolic with her description. Maybe it really wasn't that bad, but still, right? Like she's making some extreme fucking claims here, and I don't think that she's necessarily like backing up, like being injured 100%. But I mean specifically like claiming that this dude is like being fucking Harvey Weinstein, right? Like you got to show something to like support it. Claiming that the investigator was fired because they turned in a positive report on you. Like you gotta like show something to back that up, right? But like this is pretty extreme here, right? Like burned so bad, skin is falling off his fucking face. Jesus. I really question that. I really question that. Let's see here. But I was the only one who sent him flowers and cards, and then we're told we had to do a sex scene without a minute to process. We lost 2 stunt doubles. I got cut in the face so close to my eye in a stunt I could have been blind. A woman was left quadriplegic, and they tried to blame it on her being on her phone. So much so CW didn't even help her to start with because they need to investigate. So she had to go to do a GoFundMe. She's a PA. They worked via phones. Her accident occurred because our show refused to shut down when everyone else did because of COVID. Okay, so okay. Hold on. Look. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. How do I address this? Right. Okay. Look. If somebody was really injured on set and then they immediately ask you to go film a sex scene, right? That seems to me really fucking inappropriate. I would imagine it happens, but again, it's whether or not like what would like I guess people need to decide how they feel about that. I think it's inappropriate. I think you should be a little bit more respectful for the people that you're working with. Because like, can you like, I have a feeling like if they were on a porn set, they would be like a little bit more fucking classy, right? Can you imagine they're like on a porn set and like they're about to do a sex scene and like someone in the background gets like horribly fucking burned. And like, I just imagine they would have, like, look at the people go like, you guys need a minute. And like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they would just be a little bit fucking friendlier. But with these fuckers, I just don't know. Now, as far as like somebody being left quadriplegic, holy shit. And she says that there was a GoFundMe. I'm sure somebody has looked into that and verified it, if it's true. But PAs do use their phones. So if the studio blamed her for using her phone, I don't know what the actual circumstances were. But yeah, like I would imagine that the studio, like, I'll put it like this, right? When my dad was injured at work, he worked for one of the railroads, and it was like years, like fucking years after my dad was severely injured before we received any money. And like they ran these like insane investigations for the longest time. And I'm sitting there going like, why? Like my dad was injured, working on one of your fucking trains, right? And it didn't matter, right? These companies, they don't fucking care about the people, right? They care about the money. So if this woman was injured and was over their own negligence, then obviously they wouldn't want to pay. But it sounds like, the set isn't very safe if, Ruby Rose is saying that she was nearly blinded. You have somebody who is left quadriplegic, and another person who was left really badly burned. I don't know. You're ignoring donations again? I haven't seen any super chats come in. What do you mean? Like, Hold on. Let me watch the chat from. Let me pull up YouTube. I seriously haven't seen a single super chat. So let me. Maybe it might be just StreamYard fucking up. Give me a second. I'm sorry, guys. Because I didn't see any on the last stream, so maybe. Let's see here. Okay, all right. Alpha Russ, member for 10 months. Ka and cheers. Thank you, Alpha Russ. Appreciated. Let's see. And my chat log doesn't go that far back. Okay, I'm watching YouTube. I'm watching YouTube directly, so I'll check into the chat from there too. And so, any super chats, guys, if you see one go through and I don't read it, just tell me immediately, okay? There was one before. If you read it, if you guys type in what it was, I'll read it out. Well, like Ty, seriously, none of the super chats are showing on my screen. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, StreamYard isn't showing me anything. Like, I just see normal chats. I don't see any super chats. So, I'll read everything directly. So hopefully that makes it easier. But I'm sorry. But if you sent a super chat in, just type a comment and just put SC for super chat and just type out what you said and I'll read it out. I apologize. Yeah, okay. So as far as this goes though, right? And like it sounds like the set's really unsafe. And I want her to actually back up what she's claiming. Okay, how can I read Cat's super chat but the other ones? Like, because the one from Alpha Russ isn't on my screen, but Cat's is. You better not miss my super chat or else. LOL, JK. Thank you, Cat. I really appreciate it. Repay us later by doing a drunk stream. I would, but no. Crow's playing favorites. God damn it, Nero! I swear to fucking God. Like, I swear, I have no clue what's going on. Okay, so here we go. Now, okay. The other thing I wanted to say, though, and this is what's confusing the hell out of me, right? She says that the PA injury wasn't over using her phone, but it was because of COVID, right? Like, look, man, I want to understand how, right? Like, I want to understand how. So Caroline Dries has no heart and wanted us to finish the season throughout the pandemic. And I told her it was a bad idea. I told her everyone was too distracted, constantly checking COVID updates, checking on friends, and seeing Riverdale, The Flash, and Supergirl shut down already. I felt something bad would happen. And Caroline Dries maybe visited the set 4 times in a year, unheard of. But in those 4 to 5 visits, she decided she could tell me she knew my injury happened on set, so I should comply with the PI, yet later denied it entirely and said it happened during yoga. LOL, I don't do yoga. And now someone will never walk again. Okay, all right. So there's more to the story now. So the PI was investigating her over her injury that took place on set, according to her. And she's claiming that they fired the PI when they turned in a report. Now, that seems illegal. Like, okay, look, like, it's a workers' comp case, right? If you're doing a workers' comp case, oh, Jesus, Jasmine is going to be pissed with me. Hold on 1 second. Ooh. Yeah. Baby, if you're watching, you might want to come upstairs. But on the plus side, I am trying to fix this. Anyways, so where was I? I might be in a little bit of trouble. So yeah, look, I don't. guys, do you think it's really fair for her to say that because they didn't shut down, that means that it's like, look, I get it. I don't know specifically. I don't know specifically when she is saying that this stuff was occurring, right? But if she is claiming that everybody else shut down, but they didn't shut down, everybody was distracted, and that led to an accident happening. Like, I don't necessarily think that you can. Like, I get what she's saying, right? Like, I want to be as clear as I can, but also, it doesn't seem like that's necessarily the studio's fault, right? Gosh, like, that sounds wrong, doesn't it? Like, I don't want to be defending the studio here. I really do feel like they're in the wrong, but also, it does seem like what occurred. Like when she said earlier that the bad news is the restaurant closed, baby, and they refunded the order. So I'm like replacing a new order. That's the bad news, and yeah. So, anyways, there's food coming now. I ordered it from Applebee's. It'll be here when it gets here, which will be a while. I blame the chat. Specifically Al for us. He's a cool guy, but you know, he's really the reason why we don't have food now. All right, and there we go. Let's see. Food will be here in 44 minutes. What the fuck? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I thought I heard your phone going off. You're in the doghouse tonight, Kuro. Thank you for the super chat, Chuchi Evans, and I do appreciate the honesty. I really do. Totally fucked. And I'm hungry, so that's not a great combo. But you know what? When the food gets here, I guess that's a good time to end the stream. Hopefully I can get through this and move on to the next topic, though. But okay, look. She said earlier that the studio was blaming the PA for being on her phone, and then said PAs are supposed to be on their phones, right? And I agree with what she's saying there. That sounds sleazy and scummy. But then she says that it's because of COVID and people were distracted and constantly checking their phones. It sounds like what happened was they were doing something on set, right? Which totally makes sense, right? You're just doing something on set, and you know they're telling everyone to clear out or something of that nature. You know, they're trying to get everyone to clear. I don't know specifically, but this girl wasn't paying attention because she was on her phone checking on something. I don't fucking know what. And that led to a bad accident occurring where she became quadriplegic, right? I don't know if you can really blame that on COVID. It sounds like she was not paying attention. It does seem like shitty to me if everybody else is shut down and your studio is staying open. I could understand why you would be upset if people don't want to be working. Look, I was of the mindset that I didn't want my job being shut down, but again, if that's what people wanted, I don't know. I have no clue. I'm just saying, I don't really feel like that's like it just no. Mm-mm. Again, the studio still sounds shitty to me, 100%, but also, yeah, no, Alfred, thank you for the super chat. For the appetizers at Jazz Rugby only. Doesn't work that way, buddy. You give me the money, I keep the money. Jasmine don't get any of it. Let's see. Next. We shut down the next. Okay, so she also says like the yoga thing. If there was an investigator, right? and that investigator turned in a report that said Ruby Rose was injured on set. Her injury is legitimate. And so the studio fires that investigator, hires someone else, and that person issues out a statement just saying, no, she was injured when she was doing yoga. I feel like Ruby Rose should get a sworn statement from the original investigator, because that seems like seems a little bit suspicious. Most productions do have a no phone policy depending on the projects. Yeah, Alvarez, that's what I mean, right? It doesn't sound like she was using her phone because she was being a PA. It sounds like she was fucking around on her phone when she shouldn't have been fucking around on her phone. And Ruby Rose is blaming the studio because she personally didn't want to be there during COVID, right? Like, I feel like that's probably more likely, but I'm really speculating. Again, you know, Ruby is making some really extreme claims, and she's got to back those claims up. But I think a more reasonable interpretation here would be that, you know, Ruby Rose doesn't want to be there during COVID. A terrible accident occurred during COVID, and she somehow winds up blaming the studio because she thinks that the studio should have shut down due to COVID. It reads more like that to me than it does the studio is responsible. Like, I don't know. It doesn't sound like the girl was using her phone for work use. It sounds like she was fucking around on her phone. Or maybe the person who did it to her was on their phone. Maybe. Like, again, it sounds like somebody was using their phone when they should have been using their phone. But again, if it was somebody else, then she'd be getting like a massive fucking amount of money, like just a crazy amount, because it would still be on the studio. Sen is feeding his belly and Crow's hungry as hell. I'm not feeding Crow any more human flesh, but his fellow Crow brothers will at Crow's Judgment. No, don't eat any human flesh. I heard that there's a fucking... Okay, I heard somebody made a meat, or like it's like a Beyond Meat, like one of those plant-based meats, but they made it human flavored. And I'm going like, the fuck is wrong with you people? Alvarez, I can hop on and explain some production perspectives. Yes. Here, I'll give you a link. I'll send it on Twitter. Twitter. Let's see. Alvarez, why don't I have you on Twitter? Alvarez. I don't have you on... What? Do I have you on Discord? Bro, if I don't have you on Discord, you can't come on. Those are the rules. Let's see. Let's try one more time. Okay, there we go. Okay, Alpha, let's check Discord. There's a link there for you. Your Crow ancestors did eat human flesh. I'm willing to believe that, though. But I'm not going to. What's his name from CNN who ate human brain would probably like it? Oh, goddamn. That shit was nasty. But, well, okay. So as far as this goes here, it just sounds like... It just sounds like she's using an accident to justify her complaints with the studio. Hey, Alvarez.
Hello.
Hey, so like, you get what I mean, right? Like, I think it's unreasonable for her to blame COVID for a PA getting injured, right? Like, I get why she's complaining. It doesn't sound like she personally wanted to work, but like, I'm sitting there thinking about the people that are working, like the basic crew people, right? Mm-hmm. They're not fucking millionaires. They're not fucking rich, right? If all the other studios shut down, none of those employees are getting paid, right? So if she's calling for this project to be shut down, like, yeah, I mean, bully for her, but like, all those people on set that she's claiming to care about, you know, they don't get a paycheck.
Yeah, like one of the first things that because I haven't seen this whole like Twitlonger or wherever it is today. I've been out doing stuff, but from what it sounds like to me immediately is like already I think she's trying to cover up some tracks in terms of like being on her phone for non-business related stuff. Like there's NDAs.
Well, not Ruby. You're talking about the PA that was actually injured.
Yeah. But there is some NDAs that most companies have that require you to actually keep your phone at the where you hang out at, like your green room and everything like that during the tapings and everything, because obviously they don't want any spoilers out.
Well, you know, one thing I wanted to say was, you know, if she was paraplegic, right? And we're not talking about broke her arm, broke her leg. You know, we're not talking about somebody who is even like paralyzed from the waist down. Okay, we're talking about somebody who can't move anything. Right. Like this is a severe injury, lifelong, never going away. Her entire life is completely different. Right.
Yeah.
It's absurd to me to think that an accident like that took place on set and the studio isn't paying out a massive sum of money unless
there's an accident.
Unless the person is somehow responsible, right?
That too. That I could think of too. Because and a lot of people are saying, well, how big is the insurance policy on this movie? Well, it was an $8 million movie. You're not going to get a big enough insurance policy for it. Like,
are you talking about the TV show?
Oh, shit. I'm thinking about the rest. Oh, what am I thinking? No.
Well, no.
It's Monday. No. It's Monday, folks.
Okay, you're right. You're right as far as the insurance policy goes. It's not going to be this insane amount of money, but like, even then, right? If you know, if I listen to Ruby Rose, right, and I take her at her word, that means that they told this girl that she was using her phone, and this girl was a PA, and she goes, I have to use my phone. I'm a PA, right?
Yeah.
The very first thing that girl is going to do is contact an attorney who work for free with promise of a large portion of that payout, right? Because that is such an open and shut case, right? Because like, look, even if you can argue she was supposed to be using her phone at that time, like she's so sympathetic that there's no way anyone would want to actually take that to trial. But if there was a statement saying you're not supposed to be using your fucking phone on set, and this girl used her phone on set and was just standing around like an idiot, and unfortunately that then leads to her getting involved in this really bad accident, they're not going to give her a fucking penny. They're going to sit there and go like, why weren't you listening? Why didn't you follow the rules? And it sounds like that's what happened. But Ruby Rose, I don't think really cares about the girl that got injured. I think that she's just using that to justify her hatred of the studio and her displeasure that she was forced to work during COVID. Because it sounds like she didn't want to do that.
Yeah. Like, what's, I'm trying to think of that name of the TV show that stopped for like a little while. I think it might be the other show that they produce, which is Superwoman. Is it Superwoman or Supergirl? Supergirl. Because I know they stopped production for like, I think it was like 6-8 months. And then when restrictions where they usually record, which I think is still Georgia, I'm not 100% sure. I know they moved places between seasons.
Yeah.
But with different locations is different restrictions, obviously. And I'm thinking that, you know, she was hoping that was the type of situation she could get into. And it's very difficult, extremely difficult, especially when you got a high entity, even though most people don't think it's a high entity, of a comic like Batwoman. Like, that's a very high commodity. It's going to be very difficult with that price.
I mean, it's really to the Bat family, but Batwoman is not like Batgirl is. Batwoman is like,
yeah.
She
I'm saying it's just the involvement because it has
she exists, you know. Just being like, it's not really important. Okay, look. Heaven. To put it into perspective, Alec Baldwin and someone hits the news. Ruby Rose, dude gets burned like a Viet Cong in a napalm strike, and Bone Lady ends up like Christopher Reeves, not a peep. I mean,
that's actually a pretty
look. I'm just look. Okay. Alice, like, check to part two. Okay, I'll get to part 2. All right. I'm just letting you know my opinions as I'm going through it. Okay, right. So Alice, you need to calm down. Okay, you sent this to Aura. You know how long it is. You need to calm the fuck down. All right? Calm down. Chill. Relax. My opinion right now is that it's kind of absurd to me that the studio would not like they wouldn't pay this woman anything. They wouldn't give her something, at least to shut her up, right? A settlement of some kind, get her to sign an NDA, something, right? If there was any responsibility that they had, they would do anything in their power to nip this in the bud, not just tell her to fuck herself, piss off Ruby Rose, and then hope that nobody ever brings it up. Like I would imagine these people are really fucking stupid, but like not that stupid, right? Like, yeah, there are levels to stupidity here. I don't think they're that fucking stupid. Sen, I see your back. Hop on.
Yes, please, Sen. I need you, buddy.
Okay, so as far as like her being hospitalized, right? Injury happened on set, so I should comply with the PI, yet later denied entirely this would happen during yoga. It says they shut down the next day, not because she almost killed someone, but the government pulled it. Also, I fought people on set, yes, not because I wanted to, but because I wanted safety. Ask anyone in hair and makeup what I did for them. After 2 were hospitalized, the only people who came out and spoke was Degree, who talked about unprofessional. Called my agent after my exit to find a way to leave, to which he replied, break your neck, I guess. Yet slammed me in the press. Well, I guess there was some sort of neck injury she had. But like, as far as this part here goes, look, again, she doesn't want to be on set during COVID, right? Clearly. And there are going to be people that are really sympathetic to that. Because they're just going to hear COVID. They're going to freak out. They're going to say, yeah, she's a precious angel, and we should not be risking her life. But, I'm a regular person. There's a lot of regular people working on that set. They just want a paycheck, right? Mm-hmm. If she's doesn't want to be there, that does mean that they pull the project. That does mean those people don't get any money, right? It's not that simple. So I could see people being really angry with her over that. I can see her not really seeming to understand what the crew wants. But yeah, like, again, trying to make this big point. Well, then the government pulled it. Yeah, so it sounds like the accident likely was that girl's fault, but we'll see. I don't think there's going to be a message where the studio contacts Ruby Rose and says, yes, it was totally our fault, but hush, hush, we can't tell this to anybody. Like, I don't think we're going to see a message like I don't think these people are retarded. I don't think these people like had their heads beating him with a fucking crowbar like they're Jason fucking Todd, right? Like I don't think that they're that bad, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
I agree with. I kind of agree with Lapsus here for a minute because like she's starting to sound like a spoiled little girl, and that's what I'm starting to hear. Like, because it's like she's making all these repeats of like, well, I don't want to work because of COVID. I don't want to work because of COVID.
Yeah, I mean, like,
You
look,
worked. It's like
the thing is, though, it's a sympathetic argument for people who, you know, freak out about COVID and treat it like it's the fucking bubonic plague, right? Then there are going to be people that hear that and go like, I can't believe that they were trying to force people to work during COVID. I'm so glad the government shut it down. That's why people were dying on set. Like, you're going to have those, like, fanatical idiots who just, like, show up screeching, right? I look at it and I go like, it sounds like somebody was injured. I'm telling you, though, and we'll read those messages. We'll read the messages that are in part 2. I don't think the studio is going to like state. Maybe they imply that they're the ones who are really at fault, but the fact that they don't give that girl any money seems more like it was really her fault. And Ruby Rose is just looking at it and going, well, of course she was on her phone. It's COVID. She was worried about her family. Why can't they understand that? That's because they don't care. That like, and then like Ruby Rose then goes, but I care. I care about her. And that's why. And then she goes and sues the studio or some stupid shit. I don't fucking know. Like, you know, Ruby Rose, I don't think actually cares about the girl that was injured. Not in any real way. I think she just sees her injury as more like evidence that she was right. And she wants to highlight that. COVID. Mm-hmm. Poor little me, COVID. I never raised my voice on a set. Never had Dugray hurt a female stunt double. He yelled like a little bitch at women. And it was a nightmare. She doesn't seem to like this person. He left when he wanted and arrived when he wanted. He abused women, and in turn, as a lead of a show, I sent an email out asking for a no yelling policy. They declined. I was late one time because I was in hospital. Whoever does these stupid leaks, I'm finding out who, but it's cameras who, after I left hospital, said, yeah, well, maybe if people were not late, we would make our days a kid. An egomaniac kid who worked one day a week had the audacity, or the stunt department who were furious, even though I never blamed them. But I went on Fallen and spoke to my injury and didn't play the game. Aside from them, I really need to get to part 2 quick because the problem is these over here do not make her look good. Like, I'm just being honest. But it makes her. She could be right. The problem is it makes her look like really petty. What's up?
Mm-hmm. No, I just want to point out that that if Ruby Rose did have an issue with the physical stunts, that if she believes that caused an injury of hers, like there is actually supposed to be, and it's if it was filmed in California, which I assume it was, they're legally by law in most labor unions for acting and actors guilds to have like a flow chart of who to report in case like, hey, this guy might have hurt me. This is the stunt that happened. This, that. Ask this team for footage and everything with that. I'm just saying that if she felt like she got injured and she didn't report it immediately after that, then that raises me more questions than answers.
Well, the thing is, you know, if she's saying that they had to investigate her, if they had someone investigating it, it sounds like she did report it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that that's true. Okay, but again, she's making like these are some crazy claims. We'll see if she's got evidence in part 2. But like the specifically the story with the paraplegic girl, it you know, the way that it starts with this and then it goes to that, it does sound like that girl was probably responsible for her own accident. Again, I gotta speculate. I don't think that you're gonna get anything concise because I don't think the studio is gonna come out and confess to Ruby Rose that they're lying about that, and they just need Ruby Rose to lie for them.
I think the only way they're gonna have to reveal that is if Ruby Rose does go on and actually drop a suit. Oh
well, definitely.
I don't think she's gonna do it. I think she's trying to call their bluff and try to see if they fall flat on their face.
Yeah, she goes, did not choose now to come out and speak because of any numbers of reasons. Sorry, BuzzFeed, thank you. Fuck off, I just don't care. But I'm not Scarger. I did not have Scarlet type money. You got a lot of money though. Okay, all right. I've got to skip through these because they're not making her look like a good person. Okay. I'm so close to being done with this show. Between the atmosphere, the BS, the investigation surgery, I'm really about to walk. Sent from my bat phone. Aw, that's cringe. I won't take crumbs. Do better. Use the situation as a way to change the industry and the world. But keep up the smear campaign because it only fires. What is this? Carol responded with, I'm so sorry. This is something, whatever. Way to cut off a message. Ruby Langenheim to Carol Bodie. Same. I meant walk today. Until I can get my breath and have a talk with Sag and or Greg and just everyone except maybe Carolyn to work this whole thing out. I don't know about walking from the show for good. Maybe I want to, but I fear huge consequences. This isn't even in the report. Just reminding you I'm still here and you have an opportunity to change things. Okay. What is this? Greg Berlanti. Oh, Greg Berlanti. He's that guy. The guy who's like really famous with DC shit. You're gorgeous, Orchid. You are so thoughtful, but the real gift is your amazing profile. Okay, good. He's kissing your ass. So what was this? I actually like Greg. I still want to believe he has a human side. So this is hard, but again, not in the report because the report is, wow, way too intense to have to release. But my work ethic was never questioned until I was injured and walked and stayed and was fired. LOL. So basically, Greg is saying in December 19th of 2019 that she's gorgeous, she's thoughtful, she has an amazing performance, and she works really hard, and she has great talent, and yada, yada, yada. When did Batwoman air? Like the first season of Batwoman?
I think it was like late 2018, because I know they're on like season 4 or 5. Let me double check here.
Original release October 6, 2019 to May 17th, 2020, I guess. Yeah, 2020. Okay.
October 6th, 2019, yeah.
Okay, so it went for so what was Greg's role?
Ooh, let me see. Greg. I'm gonna keep back and forth looking for Lanty.
I just wonder what he did for the show.
I don't know unless I know he does some directing. Let me see here.
Well, okay, because here's the thing, right? Like, if the studio is claiming that she had horrible performance, right, and a terrible work ethic and everything, one thing I noticed was that Bounding Into Comics had this article, right? And the article was about how this crew or staff member was talking about how Ruby Rose was the problem, right? And one thing that was stated was that how she was avoiding work over her supposed injury. And I read that comment, and I was going, this person sounds jealous, right? This person sounds like a jealous little bitch. But more importantly, if she is injured, right, and she is missing work, and they're talking shit about her, right? I've worked jobs before, right, where somebody is legitimately injured or someone has a legitimate disability, right, and the people at work aren't very fucking friendly about it, right? Because they sit there and they go, why does this person get all this special treatment? I should be able to get special treatment too. This isn't fair. Yeah, that's how people's fucking brains work, right? And they all act like little fucking assholes, right? And they shun the person who's legitimately injured, right? Because they're all fucking stupid, right? Like, look, yes. I'm just saying, right? I'm looking at this, and I don't know what Greg's role actually is. I know he's
been an executive producer of the show since the beginning.
Okay. The thing about an executive producer, they're not really hands-on in the day-to-day stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Greg could have just said, oh, I saw the episode, you're amazing, oh, kisses, oh, I love you, right? It doesn't mean anything. So, like, Greg telling her she's amazing doesn't mean anything if Greg's not actually involved in the day-to-day operations, you know what I mean? Why are you laughing?
I just noticed something. So, thankfully for the people on the wiki, they've showed me how many US viewers have tuned in. The first episode, which is the pilot, was 1.86.
Yeah.
To the last episode, which is O Mouse, it's 0.74. Like that season dropped. Like
look,
flame.
She's basically stating that the reason why the season was so terrible was because she was injured, and the studio still had them filming during COVID, which they shouldn't have been doing. Like, these are her excuses for why the show is bad, right? Look, I think that she's a little bit more responsible than she's willing to give credit for. Like, she's blaming the studio for everything. She doesn't seem to be taking any sort of responsibility at all whatsoever. And I'm going like, look, your performance is part of it. She's blaming her injury, which is also on the studio. Like, again, this message from Greg, look, I get it. I understand Greg was saying that you're great and everything, but Greg's not involved in the day-to-day stuff if he's an executive producer. So, like, you got to show me something from, like, people actually on set each day telling you what a great person you are, right? Like, she claims the hair and makeup studio love her. Then let's see them give you some, like, statements saying that. Like, you need to show something that corroborates your story. A message from someone who's not really all that involved telling you you're great doesn't mean jack shit. Like, I'm sure it will convince some people online, but, like, your job is, I don't know, like, to not give me bullshit. Yeah. Like if you want people to believe you, I mean.
And also, here's the interesting thing. So when that email came out, the episode I think he was referencing to was a whole crossover episode called Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2, which did like a 1.7. So
she goes like off to bed, but deciding between releasing Carolyn's email about not being an LGBT activist or feminist. But saying, okay, like this is the time where I go like, I really don't want to be involved in this one, right? Like Ruby Rose is like, she isn't a feminist like I am, and she's not a real ally to the gay people like I am, because I am of the gays. Like, it's just like, like you see where she's fighting from, right?
Yeah.
You see where she's fighting from, okay? She's fighting from the side of the alphabet people and the COVID is gonna kill me people, right? Like, like the worst people in society.
We live in a society.
We do. Yeah, we do.
That's all I can say.
Like, I'm just saying. Like, look, I'm willing. Look, I'm gonna drop out of this. Okay, I am done. Only because more and more upset. Also knew about Elise. There's awfully yada yada. They wanted me to shoot 2 covers this week, but there was just gonna have a 6 scars. Okay, so like the injury happened on set. There you go. But they had an investigator looking into it, so again, like she's coming at them from this angle that they're not they don't care about their people because they didn't shut down over COVID, right? That's where she's hacking them from. The studio director, she's not a feminist. Okay, that's probably a good thing. The studio director isn't an LGBTQ ally. Like, okay, all right. Look, I think that a lot of the problems with that show probably did stem from Ruby fighting with the studio, right? I'm not saying that she's not justified in that, right? I'm just saying that it sounds like the problems are her fighting with the studio, and it seems like the claims that she's tried to make. Look, I'm willing to believe that she was injured on set. I'm willing to believe that the set's not being very safe, right? Mm-hmm. I'm willing to even believe that this Peter Roth guy is a creepy little slimy pervert, right? But Ruby seems to be responsible for a lot of things. And I can see why, especially after reading those messages, people on crew would probably not like her. Okay? Mm-hmm. Because I'm reading her in text format, and if I had to listen to those words come out of her fucking mouth, I'd probably smash my head into a brick wall. Yeah, right? I'm just saying, like, look, I am not a fan of CW. I'm not a fan of that studio. I think they're trash, right? And again, the acting is awful, and I fully believe Peter Roth is hiring people based on how deep they can swallow the sausage without biting.
Yeah.
But like just because they're bad doesn't mean Ruby Rose is like a good person. She sounds a little stuck up. Honestly, she does. Yeah. And I think the problem is she's worked on a lot of movies, and now she's working on a TV show. And, you know, the CW shows, they're not well funded.
They're not.
They're really surprisingly, right?
I heard a rumor a long time ago. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, so if someone could help me out with that, I don't know if it's true, but I heard that the last season of Arrow's budget literally like dropped so hard, and everyone was like, "What are we gonna do? I don't know, use someone's backlot, borrow it."
My gosh! Wait, hey, but can you do me a favor?
Yep.
Can you entertain the audience for 2 seconds?
Yes,
the food was dropped off, but at this point, I think Jasmine fell asleep, so I gotta go pick it up off the doorstep.
Oh, is my mic a little low? Okay, hold on one second.
Oh, wait, can you do your thing where you pretend Augie's in your closet and everybody laughs?
Hey, Augie, how are you doing, buddy? Huh? I see you got a package from Amazon. Okay. Yeah. No. Is it another camera for your bathroom? Okay. No. All right. Whatever. Let me put my mic back up. Where is it? Okay, yeah, babysit us, Russ. Hey, and you're the human said what's up. So how was everyone's Halloween? I hope everyone had a really good Halloween. I fell asleep. I went to eat at Taco Bell, and who has their Katina taco or whatever I don't know what it's called anymore, but it was really good. I enjoyed it. It was probably one of the best things of food I've probably had in a long time. I hijacked the stream. No, I didn't. No, he's going to get his food that he had to reorder. That apparently was my fault. No, if I weren't as a disappointment to my parents, didn't pay for a costume. 300 IQ play on my end. So here's a question, by the way. I seen that Nick Fury is fighting Jake Paul. I did a little backing. I did a little reading up on Tyson Fury's brother, and he's actually pretty well boxer, so to speak. So I think this will actually be pretty entertaining. I'm just curious because I've seen an article that said that one of the people that Jake Paul really hates, I know his first name is Dom something, Dom Derek, I think that's his name. He thinks, in his opinion, that there is a what's his
Offer
face?
us.
Yes. What'd you get? What food did you get? What kind of chicken is that?
Oh my god, dude!
What?
It's 60 degrees in my house. It's so damn cold. I didn't realize until I got out of the room. It's so fucking cold.
Bro,
God
you see
damn.
why? Look, I'm too much of a budget guy just to sit there and go like, I don't want to turn the heat on yet, so I'm thrifting in my jacket for a reason.
Oh god.
But
I didn't realize, and then I fucking got up and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I turned on the heater, I'm like wrapped up in my robe, and I was still like frozen to the goddamn bone.
We're gonna have to get you like a crow themed snuggie or something.
Oh my god, I want one so bad. How do I not own a crow themed snuggie already?
We'll see what we'll do is we'll
open up a GoFundMe. We'll have a GoFundMe for
we'll
crow
put
themed
Crows of
snuggie.
Judgment instead of it. Crows of Judgment Ravens, and there's like, ta-da.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Sen, this is what happens when you don't show up for the stream.
Yeah, they send me in.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, buddy. I love you though.
Sent you something on Twitter. Okay, let me take a look. Oh, you know what? You got
I did turn my mic up, so I don't want to speak into the mic, like literally go like this, because if I do, I sound scuffed. So I don't want to. I apologize.
Okay, GG, Evan. I'll play that video at the end of the stream tonight. You got it. I need. Oh fuck! I need the affidavit link.
Oh
fuck.
Hold on. Ask Steve. I think Steve had a link. Steve, real quick.
I had the link saved.
Steve. There you are. I just say his name and he appears in the search bar.
No, that's not it. I literally had it at my work computer, though. Oh, man. Here we go.
Oh, okay. You found it?
Yeah, well, it's from Deadline. I don't know if he had a link to the affidavit itself, but they posted the text from the affidavit.
Oh, okay. Steve DeLive.
Okay, so the Magistrate Court, County of Santa Fe, State of New Mexico, in the matter of the issuance of search warrant in regards to a wooden fixed structure, gray-brown color with pitched roof. Yeah, I don't think we need to go through that. Has been submitted to me. I am satisfied that there's probable cause of the person named or property described in the affidavit is located where the alleged affidavit, yada, yada. I recommend to comply. Fun stuff.
Yeah. It's when I read the first part of the affidavit, I sat there. I was like, why are they talking about the structures and everything like that? Like, and then talking to a couple police buddies, they explained that it's to set up exterior for like eventually. So I was like, oh, okay.
This is pretty much where we wanted to get to. Investigation concluded. Yeah. On Thursday, October 21st, 2021, Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office deputies were dispatched to 545 Bonanza Creek Road, Santa Fe, New Mexico, in reference to an incident regarding a gunshot trauma. Santa Fe Regional Emergency Communications Center advised a male was accidentally shot by a prop gun, and it was unknown if it had been a live round used. Okay, all right. Even in the fucking affidavit, they call it a prop gun. Like, Jesus, these people. I swear to God, so fucking deceptive. Like, it's a real fucking gun. Jesus.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you get that in the affidavit? Like, even the fucking affidavit, they're calling it a prop gun. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, though, because of how some people do it, I don't know how they did it exactly. Like, I remember with the Inglourious Bastards, someone told me that what they did was for scenes that were close up, there's Sharpie markings on it that says close up 1 or C1, or it'll be CA for close active. And so it'll be like you'll have to look at it at a light, at an angle, so you can sit there and go, okay, this is the active gun. Okay, there you go. And they give it to people.
Well, I mean, I can understand that they're saying we're using it as a prop, so it's a prop gun.
Yeah.
But, I mean, realistically, when you call it a prop gun, people just immediately assume, oh, it's a fake gun.
Like one of those ones that has like the flag that pops out and goes bang.
Or like a gun that has like the orange tips, you know?
Oh yeah. Like those cap guns.
Yeah. Something that's like meant to make a noise, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going like, no. That's not what they mean. Like these are real fucking firearms.
Yeah.
Okay. Upon arrival, Deputy Nicholas LaFleur advised one female had been shot in the chest and one male was shot in the shoulder area. The female was identified as cinematographer. I don't want to say her name again because I always fuck it up. And she was transported via helicopter to the University of New Mexico Hospital, located in Albuquerque, New Mexico, for further medical care. The male, identified as Joel Souza, who sustained a gunshot wound to the shoulder, was transported via ambulance to St. Vincent Hospital. St. Vincent Hospital, located in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Upon arrival, Affiant learned the location of the incident was inside of a structure. Whatever. I don't think we need to know exactly the location where it took place. Affiant learned the firearm used during the incident was secured by arriving deputies along with the ammunition. During the filming of the movie, the assistant director, Dave Halls, grabbed one of 3 prop guns, real guns, that was set up by the armorer, which was on a cart. The cart is a gray in color rolling table with 2 layers and was left outside of the structure due to COVID-19 restrictions. Fucking COVID, I swear to God. Because of COVID, the reason why she let the guns out was because COVID-19 restrictions required her to leave the guns out. Like, what the fuck? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, please tell me that's
like,
not real.
I know the budget was like weird like that, but I mean, like most people would just have like a lockbox. Like I know some people on like a local basis, when they do like filming and everything, they'll actually have a lockbox, and it's like a 200 like plasticky Rubbermaid Ford looking type of shit, and they'll have the guns in it. So I don't know if they just were like, hey, we got to leave this out for COVID restrictions. Let's just put it on a gray cart. What's the worst that could happen? You know, I'm just saying. Like,
I really can't fathom the COVID-19 restriction that tells you that it's okay to leave a fucking pile of guns out, but okay.
Yeah, how does that? I don't get that. What are the guns gonna do for COVID inside? Like, why can't they be inside? Why do they need to be outside?
Well, you see, it's harder to get COVID if you're standing outside, so she didn't want to put the guns inside where they could catch COVID.
Oh my God. So it's like a middle place. It's like, okay, I'm going to go out here, put the guns there, and then I'm going to run into this other building. Then you come out of your building, grab the guns, and run back into your building kind of thing? Like, what the fuck?
I mean, that makes more sense than whatever the hell went on here. Affiant learned one of the prop guns was then grabbed by the assistant director, Dave Halls, and he took it to the actor identified as Alec Baldwin, who was inside of the structure. As the assistant director handed the gun to actor Alec Baldwin, Dave Halls yelled "cold gun," indicating the real gun with real bullets in it did not have any live rounds. The real gun was fired by actor Alec Baldwin, striking the cinematographer identified as yada yada and Joel Souza, who was behind the cinematographer. Affiant later learned the assistant director did not know live rounds were in the gun, the real gun, when he had given the real gun to the actor Alec Baldwin. Affiant learned what had happened to the real gun once it was fired. The real gun was handled by
Wait, why are you calling it the real gun? Wait,
because they keep calling it the fucking prop gun, and I'm like, it's not a fucking prop
we're just
gun.
sitting there going like, is this the real gun? No, this is the real gun. No.
But like, who said it was a real gun other than the affidavit? Like, was it reported as a real gun?
Well, no. Everybody's been calling it the prop gun. I'm like, but it's a real gun. Like, I'm not calling it a prop gun. I'm just going to call it a real fucking gun. But like, you see, every single time they refer to it in this affidavit, they say prop gun. And I'm like, no.
Well, it must be a prop gun.
I'm just gonna say real gun, and you're gonna see just how fucking annoying it is. Well,
it definitely can shoot. We know that. So.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so where is it? Affiant learned what happened to the gun after it was fired. It was handed to the armorer and was given to the assistant director. The armorer was given the gun after it was fired by actor Alec Baldwin. She then took the spent casing out of the gun. When deputies arrived on scene, the gun was handed to arriving deputies by armorer. Affiant learned that actor Alec Baldwin was wearing old Western-style clothing during the filming of the movie. Given the fact that actor Alec Baldwin was wearing old Western-style clothing during the filming, he changed into street clothes prior to leaving the scene, and the items were turned over to Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office. Evidence technician, these clothes appear to have blood stains. Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office evidence technician learned a Western-style coat was left inside of the structure. It's important to gather any trace evidence. Okay, so it's about gathering evidence. Affiant was informed the gun was properly secured in the marked patrol unit. That's not too important. Cinematographer sustained a gunshot wound to the chest area, was later pronounced dead. I made contact with the director, visual with your right shoulder. So let me stop right here. Steve, you were there when Aura read through this, right?
I got him to read me some of it, and then I think he just read like part of it. I didn't even get through it all. I said, I'm bored. And then I went on and I talked about a bunch of people in blackface, and it covered like a bunch of other shit wrong. So I just privated the stream. I don't know if I learned anything.
That was very descriptive.
Yeah. It was good. You should have been there.
let me skip ahead, because like there was something Aura saw in here that he said that he thought I was wrong about it, but I haven't seen anything just yet.
I think it's like it gets like when they do the gun handoff thing between each other, and like Aura knows more about that because he went to school for cinematography, so he knows like what the line of command is supposed to be on a movie set. Here's the thing, right? Because I remember when we did the stream on Friday, and I'll ask Aura directly. But on Friday, I said, like, I'm willing to give people that somebody else check the gun for him, right? Because that's his point, where this other guy yelled cold gun and gave the gun to Alec Baldwin. Like, I can understand that. I still think Alec should be checking it. But, like, I also acknowledge that if there is somebody else, right, who takes the gun from the armorer and they check it, and hand it to him, and then call to everyone that it's cold, right? Like, I'll give that to people, right? Yeah, well, like that's their job. Well, it's part of their job, anyways. And then it was supposed to be checked by a previous person before that. I thought that the director was supposed to check it as well, and apparently, like most of the blame goes onto the director because he's supposed to be overseeing everything, and he didn't even know there was like live ammunition on set, apparently.
Well, I think the Dave person clearly didn't check the gun, period. Like, he literally picked it up and handed Alec and told everyone it was cold. So, like, you have that guy being a fucking idiot. But again, when I said, like, Alec Baldwin still has responsibility, he's never supposed to point the gun in the direction of someone, right? Which he did. Mm-hmm. And then he pulled the trigger, which he was also not supposed to do either. Right? Those are two like major rules that he broke.
Did he pull the trigger?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
that's what it says.
Yes, he did.
But is that what it says though?
Well, hold on. Let me get back into the. Here we go.
Well, whenever it gets there, we can get there. But I don't know if it specifically says that he like.
Here we go. During the filming of the movie, okay, he. The
Does
gun.
it say he fired the gun?
I'm gonna read through the article. Okay, I'm gonna read this part again. Right. During the filming of the movie, assistant director Dave Halls grabbed one of the 3 guns that was set up by armorer Hannah Gutierrez, which was on a cart. The cart is a gray in color rolling table with 2 layers and was left outside of the structure due to COVID-19 restrictions. Affidavit learned one of the guns was then grabbed by assistant director Dave Halls, and he took it to the actor identified as Alec Baldwin, who was inside of the structure. As the assistant director handed the gun to actor Alec Baldwin, Dave Halls yelled "cold gun," indicating the prop gun did not have any live rounds. The prop gun was fired by the actor Alec Baldwin, striking. Okay, so it says here he fired the gun.
Right. So like I don't know if that means like the gun fired. So technically, since it was in his hands, he fired, or like he actually. Well, I mean,
okay.
If the shot was pointing, like he was supposed to be pointing the gun where he was supposed to be pointing. The director was directing him to point the gun towards him. He shot the director as well, because the bullet went through him. So I don't think like if they knew.
No.
Well, obviously,
the gun went through the cinematographer into
and hit the director. Yeah.
Well, because it sounded like to me, because the only thing I heard about this was that he shot someone while they were doing close up, I forget the term. It's they do like it's for cinematography for close range, like him holding the gun and all that, so they could get certain angles right for a shot. And from the sound of it, I guess, like out of the 3 guns, one was the fake that you can actually do principal photography. There you go. There was the fake gun, then there was the kind of like a BB. It's almost like a BB gun. I'm not 100% sure, I guess. And then there's an actual gun that fires like blanks. The person grabbed the assistant director grabbed the blank, and the one with the blanks in it blanks, and assumed that was the cold gun. That's where I'm kind of figuring out that it wasn't.
The problem is there's other things that happen on that set, including the crew being allowed to use the guns for target practice with live ammo. So
apparently the director didn't know about that.
Well,
I don't know how he couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the problem is when you're looking at the affidavit too, you got to understand you're taking it from these people's statements, which is what the police have to write down in the affidavit. So if someone says, "Oh, I didn't remember," the affidavit goes like, "Subject says they did not remember," right? Like, if you then say, "Well, nobody remembers," I don't feel like that's true. Like, I'm sure the motherfucker knew, right? Because the crew had walked off set, right? There's other things. There's other things that we know, right? That would lead us to believe that people must have known what was going on set, right? But again, they left the guns out, right? They then went and took a lunch break, and when they came back, they changed where they were like aiming the camera for better lighting or something of that nature, and they just went and used the guns, right? Nobody checked the guns after the armor brought them out, and they left them there to go eat, right? That's stupid. That's really stupid. Now, as far as someone directing Alec Baldwin to point the gun at them directly, right? That's a major no-no, right? If your director's a fucking idiot, you're not supposed to do it.
If the photo is you pointing the gun at the camera, like as it's drawing for like I don't know what they were shooting for, like a fucking movie poster or something. Like how else would you get that shot if not pointing it at someone who's?
Well, I think two things. One, at that point you do use just an actual prop gun, like a gun
Yeah,
that is
so like
not made to fire bullets.
Yeah, so did the assistant director like get the guns mixed up? Like, was there supposed to be one that wasn't supposed to fire bullets at all, but just looked like a gun, and that's what it's supposed to be?
Okay, so I'll put it like this: everywhere that I have read, including this affidavit here, it refers to all of the guns as prop guns and doesn't differentiate between any of them, right? So if I'm guessing based on what I'm reading here, and again, unless there is further clarification later, it would seem to me that all of those guns were guns that were capable of firing live rounds. There was not a fake gun there. There was not an actual prop gun there. They were all live weapons. Right. So none of them should have ever been used for that. But also, if that's a filming for a movie poster, fine. Alec Baldwin should not pull the fucking trigger. Like, no. Like, again, this is when they tell you to treat the guns as if they are loaded at all times. If that is the case, right, and you're holding the gun and your director says, point it at my fucking head, asshole, right? And you go, okay, right? Like, you don't do it. Like, you're still not supposed to do it.
Well, no, but like, I mean...
But again, we're not again, if Alec Baldwin were like a junior actor, right? Or if Alec Baldwin were someone with very little experience, it would make sense to me that he would still have no fucking clue what he's doing when he's handed a firearm. Alec Baldwin knows this stuff, though. Alec Baldwin, like, he's been on plenty of film sets with firearms and he's used them before.
It even says in the affidavit that he was safe with all the guns otherwise. Like in another instance, he made sure that like a kid wasn't around when a gun was being shot off or something. It says in the affidavit, like near the bottom.
Well, here, hold on.
So
okay, here. So this is something that was in one of the articles that we read earlier, right? I know it's in the affidavit, but this was in one of the articles we read, I believe, on Friday. Where it goes, or was it Friday or Wednesday? But it says right here, he said Alec had been very careful and brought up an instance when a scene was being filmed earlier. Reid said Alec had made sure it was safe and the child wasn't near him when they were discharging a firearm during that scene.
Yeah.
Okay, but that doesn't mean anything because he wasn't safe in this instance.
No, but like if you're acting and they're saying, okay, we're gonna do the shot where like you're pointing the thing at the camera and like the guy
don't point at the camera. Wait, you don't point at the camera.
I don't know, man. He's probably done it before.
But that's the thing, right? Other people have stated that Alec Baldwin went by the book on their film sets in the past, right? So my problem is you're saying like, well, the director told me, but that's not running by the book. Like, the thing is, it's on the person who's holding the firearm.
It is, if he's told it's a cold gun and there's nothing in there.
Well, but Steve, what's the number one rule? It's in the SAG. It's in the number one rule of gun safety. You always treat But Steve, it's a real gun.
Yeah, but like referring to as prop gun.
This is why I get pissed off when I keep seeing people say prop gun. Because now we have this confusion where we're sitting there saying like, well, of course he thought it was because it's a prop gun. No, they're real fucking guns. Okay? They're not prop guns. They are real firearms. They were always real firearms. Alec Baldwin had used those real firearms before. Days before this, his own stunt double accidentally discharged one of the very real guns. Okay? There is no confusion here. This is not a prop gun. Okay? He was never working with a gun that was incapable of firing a live round. He was always using a gun capable of firing live ammunition, right? So if you're going to tell me, like, Steve, I'm sorry if I'm getting frustrated with you. Like, I don't mean to, like, raise my voice. But my point is, right?
I'm not changing my mind. I don't think he's responsible on this. I think he was doing what he was told.
My point is, though, if you're going to tell me, well, of course he's not going to treat it if it's loaded because he was told it was cold. No. Even if you watch somebody, right? Like Steve, if you watch somebody literally load blanks into the gun in front of you, right? And then hand you the gun, you still have to treat the gun as if it is loaded, meaning you do not raise it and point it at another human being ever, 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 ever.
But he didn't see anybody load blanks into a gun.
Okay. I'm saying even if you saw blanks physically loaded into that gun within your eyesight, you literally saw the blanks go into the gun as it was handed to you, right? You still have to treat it as if the gun is loaded with live ammunition, right? It's literally
how do they do
number one
scenes where they're
rule.
shooting at people in movies?
Well, because of most guns, like there's two ways going about it nowadays. There's where they use like fast acting shots. So like if I'm pointing, like say this was the gun and I'm pointing at it, and the gun and the camera angle is at a certain angle where you can assume a projectile is coming out of, but it's not. That's usually like a dummy gun half the time. That's people with the actual real CGI budget. Like these guys were going for more practicality, which half the time, depending on the genre and how it's shot, 50% of the time it works. But in the way that
it's like Alvarez said, you're not really using CGI. You're angling the camera in ways to make it look like you're pointing at the person, but in reality, you're pointing it one way, it's completely out into the open, and then they're going to clip together another shot that makes it look as if you're pointing it at the person when the bullet goes out. But in reality, it's all just practical effects. Like this stuff is not.
When someone gets hit, there's like a some people use like a string, and like it's like a, I think it's like a clip. I don't know.
Okay, so blanks can still cause damage. I'm pretty sure it's edited in post. They don't really aim at people in a movie. Like they really don't. Most of this stuff is just how they're editing the angle of the shots, right? They really do not point the fucking guns at people.
Exactly.
It's just how it looks in the film. But like, Steve, one thing that I really like is action films, right? Most of the shots in an action film are not straight shots, right? They are like massively edited together. Like if you ever watch a Marvel movie, just watch all of the cuts, right? Every single cut is a different shot that was edited together. Like it's not a straight shot. Like fucking Captain America is not really doing a fucking backflip and then like punching people and throwing his shield and shit.
No, I know,
right?
I know that. But I mean, like that's how Bruce Lee died or whatever. He got accidentally shot because like people were pointing guns at him and shooting. So like you're saying, like after that instance, no one has ever pointed a gun at anyone in Hollywood ever again. So even in scenes where like a gun is being held to someone's head, like point blank, like that's not real. That's a camera effect or that's CGI.
But Steve, for certain shots, right? Like you are supposed to be using fake guns, right? Like you have guns that are just straight up fake and made of plastic, are not loaded with actual bullets. But those would literally be the definition of a prop gun. And what I'm saying is it gets really confusing when they talk about this story because they keep referring to the actual live firearms as prop guns when they're not. This set was not using prop guns. They were using real firearms the entire time. This set never used prop guns. Or at least according to all the information from everything out about this set, they were always using real firearms. And the crew was using those firearms for target practice, which is also like another violation because you're never supposed to be bringing live ammunition onto a film set, which for some reason they were doing and being allowed to do it.
Yeah, so I think if Alec knew that there was live ammunition on the film set and wasn't just like the other people, and he knew about the other instance, then like you can argue that he had like a moral obligation to like not be so negligent. But I still think like if there's two people checking the gun supposedly and like there's been concerns before, so you think like they've been settled and everything and you're just doing what you're being told, I think it's like the people who are telling you what to fucking do. I can get your point, like, yeah, you don't like point a gun at someone's head and shooting a gun safety and all that, but
actually, I just had
I think it's an accident.
I don't know if you guys can think about this for a minute because as you said, they use this for practice shooting, and now I don't know if the legit affidavit from the actual affidavit says that after they put the the ammunition, the live ammunition, next to the guns with the blank rounds, because that's from my understanding how Brandon Lee passed away. That was something that was mixed, because the armor actually had the real bullets with dummy rounds, and it somehow got mixed.
No,
but he was still pointing a gun at the dude.
Well, what happened with the Brandon Lee death was it was a gun that was not meant to fire live rounds, right? It was.
Oh,
they
firing
didn't have,
blanks, but he was
they
still
didn't
pointing
have
at
live
him.
ammunition. No, they had these dummy rounds, right, which were meant to like fire off and make smoke, and then it was supposed to fire the blank afterwards, which was supposed to make the sound, right? But when they fired the dummy round, a small piece of the dummy round got lodged into the chamber, a very small piece. But when the blank fired next, the force of it firing caused the small piece of cartridge to come out and shoot Brandon Lee. But again, that's why you're not supposed to be pointing the guns at people. Because even in that sort of case, you can still die. Even when they're not using live ammunition, you can still die. That's why you're not supposed to point the guns at people, even on the film set. That's why most of these shots are highly edited. I made a mistake earlier because I think someone said Wingless Shinigami was pointing out, like I said, never aim at the camera. You're not supposed to aim at the camera when there's someone standing behind it, right? They do plenty of shots where someone is literally like you're looking at a shot of someone's like where you're staring down the barrel of the gun, right? Nobody is standing behind the camera when they do that.
Yeah.
Like you have to treat the firearms that you have to treat them as if they're loaded at all times, right? It's like the number one rule, right? Alec Baldwin broke that rule, right? That's why I already said it sounds like I said this during the stream last time. It sounds like even if you give him that somebody else was checking the gun, right? Even if you ignore what had recently happened just days earlier with the stunt double, where he was given a gun and told it was cold, right? Even if you ignore that Alec Baldwin is a producer on this movie and is heavily involved in it and should really know what's going on the set, even if you ignore all of that, Alec Baldwin still broke the number one rule. He pointed the gun at another human being, and then for some fucked up reason, right? Because cameras are not rolling at this point, decides to pull the trigger. I don't know why he pulled the trigger, right? He should have never done that, period. Like even if you want to tell me that the director told him to do something highly stupid and dangerous, and he chose to do it, right? Because they're trying to get this shot. Fine. It's still a big no. It's still a major violation, right? Why the fuck would he then pull the trigger when he's already violating the number one fucking rule? And then somebody dies. Like, again, Steve, like you already said it.
I get the person dying thing, and I get where you're arguing. I'm just saying.
Steve, earlier you said that he was being negligent. Earlier you said he was being negligent.
If he knows all this stuff happened before, if he knows that there's live rounds being used, which I don't know if he did or not. I don't think his statement's in the affidavit either, which is like, I don't know why he wouldn't get his fucking statement.
But there's a statement on Twitter we can play. I don't think it's really that important. Some people don't like it, and I don't want to play it because I don't want to I just want to focus on the facts. Like, I don't want him to say something really dumb, and it's not really related to this.
There is a New York Post article that I posted in the private chat that I'm actually reading right now. It's actually from a statement from the assistant director.
Well, he's the guy who handed Alec Baldwin the gun.
Yes.
Okay.
There's some interesting things on it.
Okay, let me pull that. But Steve, the reason why I wanted to say, like, when you said he was being negligent, my point is, I'm not arguing that he is like a homicidal maniac or anything. I'm saying that he was negligent. Yeah, I'm saying that he was negligent, and his negligence resulted in someone's homicide. Right? In the United States, it's literally called involuntary manslaughter. We have a criminal charge for it. So if you acknowledge that he was negligent, right, what we need to say then, did his negligence contribute to the death of another human being, right?
Well, negligent if he knew the things, right? So it's contingent on if he knew what I said, right? So if it turns out that he did that, then yeah, I'd say that. Like if he knew that, then yeah, I'd say that he was being negligent for not taking the extra precautions, right?
Yeah, well, I would
see
say
this
that
more. I would see this more as a workplace accident than like involuntary manslaughter.
I would say that my thing is, again, pointing the gun at another human being and pulling the trigger, right? Like that 100% you cannot overlook in terms of that should never be done. And I would give to Alec Baldwin if it was like day one or like year 3, year 5 Alec Baldwin. This was his first time working with guns or a second time working with guns on a film set. But like this is a guy who's like 40 years. He knows what the process is. That's why I'm being a little bit more like he knew not to do this. This is really dumb.
And it hasn't been confirmed if it was like a hair trigger or not. Like if it could have gone off accidentally. Like not.
I mean, it's saying in the affidavit he fired the gun. But look, I'll give it to you here, right, Steve? If they run some sort of because they can test the guns, right? They can do that. If they do that and they find out there was something wrong with the trigger of the gun, then you're correct, 100%, right? If the gun literally has a hair trigger on it, then yes, he still shouldn't aim it at somebody, but he definitely didn't pull the trigger, right? That's different. That is 100% different.
Yeah, like if it turns out like he was aiming at somebody and pulled the trigger, then like it's hard to be like, well, yeah, especially if there was other incidences, and if you knew about the incidences and you knew that there was live rounds on set, then like.
But right now, Steve, I
don't
think Alec Baldwin or anyone else is stating that the gun had a hair trigger and that the gun was faulty in any way, shape, or form. I don't think anyone is arguing that.
Well, what do you mean? Can it just have a hair trigger?
I don't think.
Well, maybe, but I think Alec Baldwin would have said that, or somebody would have said that for him. I mean, like, the gun had a hair. That the gun was faulty and it just went off, right? But Alec Baldwin isn't saying that. Like, I mean, that would have been like the first thing you think anyone would say is the gun is faulty. But they're not. Well, they're not arguing that.
It is. It's under oath, right? Like it's a sworn document. So like maybe if they can't prove or disprove it, they can't say it definitively until it's tested. Maybe. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, no, I thought there'd be more information in the affidavit. I would want
the affidavit is based on the statements and the things that the police noticed at the time. It's not based on you're under oath when we ask you a question, right? Like if they catch you lying, then it's different.
No, it is. It's under oath. Like the affidavit's under oath.
Well, but when they go there to do the investigation, you mean?
Yeah.
Anything in that affidavit said that it's under oath. Like it's all you can't. Yeah, they're not supposed to lie. It's illegal for them to lie on the affidavit at all. That's why it's like when it's like prop gun, I'm like it must be a prop gun then, or else like they're lying.
Yeah, but Alec Baldwin could still say like the gun was faulty. I didn't pull the trigger. Like I didn't squeeze the trigger.
Well, that's the other thing too. Alec Baldwin's statement's not even in there. Like they didn't.
No, it's not. But, he said something on Twitter where he was like, I'm not responsible. This was a terrible accident and something like that. But he doesn't. Well, I like Steve. My point is right. I agree with everything you said, but your argument is like but that's only in the case where it's not a hair trigger. So I'm just saying like I don't think anybody is going in that direction where the gun is the problem, right? Like I'm not saying like it could be a possibility, but like. Alec Baldwin and nobody that support nobody is saying that the gun is the issue. That they're arguing that Alec Baldwin isn't responsible for checking the gun, and they're also arguing that that even though it's in the SAG guidelines, right? Even though it's in his own union rules, right? That Alec Baldwin is not being negligent when he points the gun at somebody and pulls the trigger. They're arguing that that's not negligent, but nobody's arguing that there's an issue with the gun.
Now I want to actually say something about the guns though, because what they're using is revolvers. Most people don't realize that even back then, like revolvers do have faults. It depends on how the triggering system is built and everything like that. Like where I could see the issue of the gun coming into play, I could probably say that maybe when they were doing when they're firing live rounds, that someone could have pulled the trigger too hard to the point where it became very sensitive and then some. Because there's stories that I could probably Google and find out about most revolvers, because since it's a Western, they're going to use revolvers, right? They're gonna,
yeah.
I'm just saying, it could be one of those situations where it's like, it's a real gun. They used it for live round shooting, and then when they were trying to use it for as a prop, things got out of hand.
Well,
out of that misconception of it.
I see Kaz saying, like, not sure anyone belongs in jail for this. I think someone does belong in jail, like someone lost their life, but like you hired somebody to do the fucking safety. 2 people were supposed to do the safety for the guns, make sure that the gun was fucking safe before handing off to the actor. No, there shouldn't be any live rounds on the set at all. So somebody is obviously fucking responsible.
Well, I mean, Steve, I guess my problem is, like, this is Alec Baldwin's baby. Like, he's the star. This is his film.
Yeah,
right?
but
like he's involved in hiring.
His biggest contribution, though, is his talent, like his acting and the money he's putting into it. I don't know how hands-on he is in like hiring and
I guess the problem is if you're going to go after somebody, right? Like you're going to go after the person that's responsible for putting the project together. Right,
there's another producer at that same level who isn't an actor, who probably is more behind the scenes than him. Why isn't he like getting called into question?
Oh, that is actually a good point. It could be a single actor revolver too.
But I guess Steve, all I can say to that is let's rope him into it also. Like it doesn't forget Alec Baldwin, right?
I get that it's easy because he was the one holding the gun, and like technically, he should, right?
It's easy because you can. Again, you can look at the SAG safety guidelines, right? The Screen Actors Guild. So not a small organization, not something that's unrelated to Hollywood. You can look at the union rules for Alec Baldwin's own union, right? He violated those rules. He violated those guidelines. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. He did not treat the gun like it was loaded. He did point it at another human being, and he did pull the trigger. All 3 of those things he violated, right? We can talk about the other stuff, right? We can talk about in terms of negligence. It sounds like there is a ton of it, right? Not just from this other producer, drag his ass into it too, but this Dave Halls guy, right? This David Halls guy who hands Alec Baldwin the gun, hands him the gun, never fucking checks it. Right?
That's a cold gun. He announces it too. So not only does Alec Baldwin think about the director and
the armorer. The armorer must have known that the guns were being used with live ammunition on the set. There's no way in hell.
She was using them. She was using them like that.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. Right. So like that as well. Right. But again, I mean, look, the problem with saying Alec Baldwin didn't know is, I mean, look, it's possible, right? It really is possible. The guy's just, heads up his own ass and just completely not paying attention to anything around him.
That's how I heard he's kind of like. I mean, I don't know the guy that well.
But I guess the main issue is his own stunt double was the one that discharged the firearm, right? If his stunt double is shooting a scene, right? Alec Baldwin would have to be there because they would have they would have had Alec Baldwin film his part, subbed him out for the stunt double, and then the stunt double would have filmed, right? Like,
I mean, I would have to assume for like, I don't know what it's called. I don't think it's called contingency. what the fuck is that thing called? It starts with a C, to make sure like it looks the same. Like, because you could like film all of the Sentinels and stuff on one day and then the other day, but then like the stuff outside might be different. Like there might be overcast, it might not be the same lighting. Like, so I would assume that it would be on the same day. Yeah.
My point was like
that he would be there.
When you stack that up, right, with gunshots going off all the time because the film, the crew is using the film for target practice, which is going to make a ton of noise, right? And then on top of that, you stack it on to the fact that the crew literally walked off set, right? Which, I mean, you know, people must be talking about, right? Because you're missing a lot of your people. Like, I'm just saying, I'm willing to believe it's a possibility that he really is just fucking clueless, right? But it's just I'm not entirely sure how. Like, I'm willing to contribute a lot to stupidity and use that as an excuse for people, because I generally do think that people do stupid shit all the time, and even if they don't want to admit it, they do it. But in this case, I'm not entirely sure there's anyone who is that fucking clueless, right? Like, I can mock Alec Baldwin for his political takes and everything, but I mean, I don't think he's that brain damaged. I mean, like, this is that's like a special level of ignorance.
What is he politically? I didn't even know he was into politics. I don't know
like
this man.
Yeah, no, I just mean, like, just as a side thing, right? Like, I can make fun of him for his political takes and call him brain dead, but like, I don't actually think he's brain dead. But for him to have not known anything was going on, when we look at 1, 2, and 3, I don't think he's that brain dead. You know, that's all I meant. Like, he'd have to be exceptionally stupid to not understand any of the stuff's going on. I think more than likely they're there for super long hours. It's very hot where they're at. They're very frustrated, right? I'm sure that he was doing the scene. He just wanted to get it over with.
They're angry at Alec Baldwin, and then they load his gun with real bullets, and then he shoots somebody, and he's like, frame him.
Dude. Yeah. I'm willing to believe that's also a possibility too. Sure, but yeah. What I mean is, it seems more likely to me that Alec Baldwin wasn't intentionally ignoring his own training. He was just frustrated, right? They've been there for super long hours. There's problems with the production. There's problems with the set. There's problems with the crew, right?
Well, and
there's people leaving and walking off. Like, it seems to me that it makes sense that during all of this, Alec Baldwin is angry. He's frustrated. He just wants to get the scene over with, right? And, you know, he would just, fine, just let me do the scene, film it, and let's move on. And I don't think that, he was really thinking straight. Like, people do that. The problem is he was holding a firearm at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think it's more, I think that's more of a reasonable explanation. But again, this is why you have to treat it as if it's loaded. He didn't. That point blank, he just wasn't. Like, I mean, yeah. Steve, no matter what job you do, right? No matter what position you work in, right? If you're ever handed a firearm, right? Even if everybody around you tells you it's not loaded, right? Even if everyone is telling you, your boss, your boss's boss, your boss's boss's wife, your kids, your puppy named Spot, and they're all telling you the gun's not loaded, right? But instinctively, to treat the gun as if it's loaded, right? Would you ever then point it at someone's forehead because you got told it was okay to do it?
No, because I'm not on a movie set, and I'm not being told by the director to do that. So, it's a little bit different. You know what I mean?
But it's not. See, that's the thing, Steve. Everybody thinks it's different, but like in their own guidelines, it says that it's not different. Their own guidelines, their own safety training, they're trained not to treat it as if it's different. So, like, that's
guidelines.
Yes.
Well, if they're guidelines, if they're not like rules or procedures, like
okay, stop. the Screen Actors Guild has safety guidelines on how to handle a firearm when it's on set, and it says to specifically, it is up to the film set that you are working on. However, all of these actors, right? They're all part of a union. The union has its own rules too. The rules are based on the Screen Actors Guild safety guidelines, right? These all tell them to treat the gun as if it's loaded. It doesn't tell them, but it's okay if your producer or your director told you to aim it at someone's forehead.
Yeah, I didn't go to school for any of this cinematography stuff. So I don't know either way. It's like,
well, see,
I'll have to take your word for it.
Okay, well, I appreciate you taking my word for it. But like, again, all I'm saying is it's not like you're the only one who feels that way. Everybody feels like because it's a film set, the rules don't apply on the film set, right? But we can point to many examples, right, in Hollywood that these assholes all follow that says that the rules are not different. So if we know the rules are different, it seems absurd to me that so many people just seem to feel that they are, right? And it makes sense to me, if we want to talk about politics and everything, it makes sense to me that a lot of people don't understand, how firearms work or proper firearm safety when they talk about, anything to do with gun rights. And I'm not talking like for or against, right? People seem to really not understand, proper usage of firearms. Like there are no exemptions, period. Anyways, we can move on. I've really dropped the point that Alec Baldwin should check the gun. I still think he should, but I think it's really irrelevant because there's other violations that are much worse than that. Because there are other people that can check it, and also I feel like just because I am saying that Alec Baldwin is responsible, I want to make this clear for everybody. It doesn't mean that other people are not responsible. It doesn't mean that somehow absolves anyone else for their own negligence in this. I think that entire set was the entire set was run grossly improperly, right? Super low budget. They were running out of money. They couldn't pay the people there. They were forcing them to work extremely long hours. It makes sense that they were taking shortcuts and the mistakes were happening. But when you're doing it in an area where there are firearms, right, you are responsible for what happens with those firearms. I mean, that's where I'm coming from with it. Like if that means that there is another producer who is more involved in the crew and more involved in the staffing and the hiring, well, then drag that asshole in too. Right? Drag the armorer in who is allowing people to use the guns for fucking target practice. Drag all of them in. Somebody died, right? I don't think, putting them in prison for 20 years, does anything. But they need to face some sort of fucking penalty so people understand it's not a fucking game.
Yes.
Except Alec Baldwin.
When it's a real
we'll
gun,
see what happens. Yeah. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
All right, well, we mostly agree, Steve. That's good.
Yeah, some accountability needs to be taken. We both acknowledge it's an accident. I just don't think it's Baldwin's fault. You think it's Baldwin's fault and other people's fault, and I want more information as well. So like I said, if it turns out that he knew about all this, and he obviously was concerned about child safety, so he knows about gun safety, then I don't know why it would have taken 2 seconds if it was a revolver to just pop it open, make sure there's no fucking bullets in it before pointing, and then point it. Even then, you're not supposed to apparently, but I don't fucking know.
Steve, I'll be honest with you. I really don't care about the anonymous story of the random child that happened to be on set out of the middle.
But it's so
important.
Nowhere. It's so integral to the story.
I'm not sure.
Do you know who told this story? It was like the cameraman. It wasn't even like the producer. But it's just like this random guy that got. But I was like, oh, well, that means he's not biased at least, right?
I mean, but the thing is, when you tell me that, all I think there and say is like, so Alec Baldwin does understand how to handle a firearm on set.
At least in that instance, yeah. So like Yeah, I mean, like, it's a good point to bring up to be like, well, he was safe all these other times. It's a really good point to argue.
That's why I said I look at this as more of a situation where he's just in a moment where he is frustrated and he's heated, right? It's like you already said, he sunk a ton of money into the project, right? His crew has just walked off set. They're blaming him. They're blaming his people, right? And he's sitting there in the heat. The filming's gone on longer than it's supposed to. Yeah, it makes sense in that instance. He would drop his normal training and just be like, "Let's just get this shit over with." Right?
Well, and they were setting up stuff before, so he was talking to the director. So the conversation could have been like, "All right, so we're gonna do this shot where you're pointing the gun at the camera. We're gonna set everything up." He's like, "All right, well, we've had other problems. You're gonna make sure it's safe. Like the gun's gonna be safe." And he's like, "Yep, we're gonna make sure. Just do this." I mean, you could argue then, though, if he had those concerns, why wouldn't he just go the extra mile and check?
Yeah, look, I don't think putting him in prison, like, does anything for anybody. Like, I just want to make that clear. It's just we got to be honest about what happened here, right? I think that there's enough you can point to that is negligent on his behalf. I think that everybody needs to be dragged in. I think that they should all be prosecuted. And I think that the DA should just offer them some sort of like sweetheart plea deal where they acknowledge that they were responsible in the fucking death of another human being, and they acknowledge how they were responsible in it, right? Like, I know it's not much, right? But it's better than fucking nothing. And then the family can take them to fucking civil court using those fucking statements and take them for all their fucking worth. I think that's fair.
Maybe Hollywood should just not play with real guns. Like, just don't have real guns on set. That's what I thought was the rule too. Like, they're not okay. So like a prop gun is not registered to anyone, right? So like, even though I don't know, are they prop guns or are they actually real guns? Like they're real guns registered to people like as
if
real
we're talking
firearms.
about the guns on this set, these are real firearms.
Like actually registered under people's names that can be used. Like they're firearms. They're not props at all. They're not a prop that is actually can be used as a real firearm. They're like legit.
No, they're real firearms.
Well, I thought that was a rule too. You're not supposed to have like unless you're a security guard or something. I say you're not supposed to have like a legit firearm.
No, you can have a legitimate firearm on set. You're not supposed to bring live ammunition on set.
That seems retarded to me. It seems fucking dumb.
Well, not really, because you do need an actual firearm for certain things.
No, you can make a prop look like a real one.
Well, like, I mean,
we live in 2021.
Okay. Nowadays you can, right? Nowadays you can, but in the past you couldn't.
Well, like, what's the maybe they need that
even
real
like distant past, but in like 10 years ago, it'd be really hard to make it look realistic.
For sure, but like, you know, we're like progressing now. Maybe they should make that law so that something like this doesn't happen again. So the possibility of this happening isn't even a possibility. You know,
well, I think the biggest crime that you can point to here is live ammunition being brought onto a film set, right? Like that has to be a violation of some sort of law.
Yeah,
that has to be illegal. That cannot be forgiven.
That's the point that I think that when you bring live action to a set like that automatically makes it not really a safe set anymore. Yeah, and that's why I say like if they were like, hey, we're gonna go to this driving range with the guns down the road, I would have been probably like, okay, yeah, sure, cool, yeah, we can do that. That's no problem. But
Steve, can I ask you? You and Sin keep telling that joke about like Alec Baldwin banging the armor, and that's how she got her job or something. Look,
yeah, well, that was when I thought he owned the production company and shit. He doesn't own the production companies that are running the movie either. He's just a producer.
Okay.
So I don't think he's hiring the people anymore. I thought that's what I said when I thought he was hiring the people. Now it's just kind of a joke.
He, to my understanding, he is still involved in the crew, like in the hiring for the crew. But again, I don't want it to seem like, you know, if he's the producer, he's solely responsible. It seems like so many people are responsible. I don't think that the armorer, right? I don't think the armorer was okaying people bring live ammunition onto the set, right? Somebody else, people must have known what was going on there, right? And I think that there's plenty of people that still need to, you know, be dragged in and they need to answer for their part in it. But I don't know, man. Like, one of the sad things about this case is it's turned so overtly fucking political that people just don't seem to really give a shit, right? Like, people like spreading things that are outright misinformation that's been like, but they just don't care, right? Because, and I say that for people in support of Baldwin and against Baldwin, they really don't fucking care about the facts of this case, right? They really don't give a shit, right? They're
Who's
just
politicizing this. I haven't even seen a political argument about this.
Well, no. What you're seeing is people on the left defending Alec Baldwin because Alec Baldwin was a big fuck Trump guy, right? He was a big political activist. Yeah. So people on the left are defending him, people on the right are attacking him because he was a big fuck Trump guy. I think Candace
I hate
Owens,
the left, by the way. Just in case anyone thinks that that's why I'm like.
No, just like look, to be clear, right? I can mock people on the left all day and night, but people on the right. I think it was Candace Owens, right? Brain dead bimbo that she is, fucking goes out there and fucking says something about how this is good that Alec Baldwin fucking shot a woman because he gets a taste of his medicine for all the shit he said about Trump or some stupid shit like that. And I'm like, how fucking dare you? Like, how fucking dare you say it's good that a fucking woman got shot? Like, fuck off. Yeah. Like, seriously, fuck off. Right? That was someone on the right. Right? That was not someone on the left. That was someone on the right. So, yes, people are politicizing this, right? And it's turned into, if you're on the right, you must be against Baldwin. If you're on the left, you must support Baldwin. Right? At the end of the day, a woman's dead. Right? I don't think Baldwin is uniquely responsible in this. I think many people need to be brought in, and we need to shut down this film set. And maybe there are people that should not be allowed to run a film set if this is how it's going to be operated. That's how I feel about it.
Based on the affidavit also doesn't cite any of the the stuff you mentioned before, but then using live rounds and stuff. Where was that reported? It was just reported in the articles, the news articles.
Well, I think I think the armor was actually stating
bragging about it.
No, the armor actually hold on. The armor has claimed she didn't know about live ammunition being brought onto set.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
The problem is the affidavit doesn't mention it. The armorer is denying that she was aware that there was live ammunition being brought onto the set, right?
Okay, well, so then she's acknowledging that there was live ammunition on set.
Well, I mean, the thing is, we know that there was live ammunition on the set because somebody put live bullets into the fucking gun, right?
Yeah.
So look, it's.
How could you not know?
I think the problem right now we're in the stage where people are lying to cover their own ass, and there's more that is going to come out about this, right? But yeah, people are going to start lying, right? And we're going to wait for their lies to get debunked. But in the meantime, I don't think my opinion really hasn't changed. As far as Alec Baldwin having responsibility here, it seems like more people are responsible. Right? I mean, there's that. And I agree. It sounds like a lot of things that were happening on this film set were just fucking gross and completely out of line. Indeed. And that's not uniquely an Alec Baldwin thing, right? And anyone who thinks it is just idiotic. But I don't have anything more to say on this one. Do you guys?
Not much. I was trying to find the thing where this armor is I'm still learning how guns work. I was wondering if that was
I heard that, but I couldn't find the statement, and I was like, I don't want to jump into that shit.
Yeah. Just she crazy.
There's the article I read. There's a little paragraph that I was interested in.
Let me pull this up before we head out.
Picture.
And I gotta pull that video for G.G. Evans too. So
okay.
Oh, how did you like your angry compilation?
Dude, I loved it.
Oh, I'm glad. That's a custom song just for you, Crow. That was made for you.
The first paragraph.
It was really good. Sorry, you said the first paragraph?
No, there is after the second or third picture down. So it'll be a picture of the assistant director on the
this guy?
Truck. Hold on.
Him?
Oh, one more. Oh, did
her?
Oh, you're above it. You're above it.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, yeah, there you
go.
Right in between those two pictures right there.
Okay. Hollis told police he couldn't recall how thoroughly he checked the weapon. David advised when Hannah showed him the firearm before continuing rehearsal, he could only remember seeing 3 rounds, he told detectives, according to an affidavit filed in Santa Fe County Magistrate Court. He advised he should have checked all of them, but didn't, and couldn't recall if she spun the drum, the assistant director allegedly told cops.
Now this.
Oh my god, that's really bad. That's okay.
Yeah,
so
that
he's
is
acknowledging
very
he saw rounds in the gun. He's
that's
acknowledging he
where-
didn't know
and
if
here's
the
the
rounds
thing.
were spun. So like that's basically roulette. And then you yell cold gun as you
And
give it
here's
to the
the
fucking
thing.
actor that you know is going to be pointing it at the fucking
And
camera.
And
I
you
think
wanna
this
know
guy's the most guilty.
the more impressive thing that I'm not shocked no one's hasn't even talked about yet. The armor, whose name is Hannah Gutierrez Reed, was working on her second film in that capacity. So this was her second film ever doing that.
Well, okay. Why is that surprising to you, though?
Because, like, why would you be that? Like, I've known people who've been armors that have done this before. Obviously, if you're doing something like that on
Okay, all right. I'll for us. Let me help you figure this out. I'll explain it to you. Right? You're an armorer, right?
Yes.
And you have 50 years of experience. Okay, right? And I would imagine that when someone is going to be looking for an armor, you might charge just a pinch more than the dumb bitch who's only on her second job.
That is, you know what? You got a point there. I was like, wait, hold on, wait, 8 million. Yeah, you're right. 2 and 3 together. I was like, wait, hold on.
It's not surprising to me that there were so many problems too, because they were trying to save money. This was not a big budget hype. This is not like got Disney money behind it, backing their every fucking play. They were already over budget, right?
Oh, and the 50-year-old isn't going to be hot either. So, like, if they've been doing it for 50 years, probably put them in like their 80s.
God damn it, Steve. Like, my point is, yeah, if we're talking about a project where we already know they're trying to save money and they're not paying people enough, they're clearly not going to be hiring the best people to be working on it either. So it doesn't surprise me they got an armorer who's only been doing this. This is her second job. Right? It doesn't surprise me at all that that's what happened.
Okay, I could see where you go from that, but it's like
that's no excuse. She should have known what she was doing, and like she sounds like a liar if she's like, "I'm still learning how guns work. I didn't know that there was live ammunition on set. I don't know how that got in my guns." Like, what are you talking about?
No, I'm like, was this her first time like with a revolver? Obviously, in a filming setting.
Well, I'll put it like this, right? And this was something that I read in one of the roles that they had. The armorer or the weapons master is supposed to set up a safety meeting with everyone on crew who will be handling the firearms, right? That does not seem to have actually ever occurred, because according to the armorer, she says that when she tried to do it, they refused to listen to her. So she's released some statements from her lawyer. And again, I'm with you guys. I think that she's really questionable here, because if anyone has a reason to lie, it's her, right? It is 100% her, because she seems to be like, she seems like she has no fucking idea what she was doing.
Then they really need to have a word with her, because that.
Well,
have a word with her.
I mean, here's the problem.
Have a word with you.
Here's the problem, though. We can point to the armor. The crew already told the producers the problems on the set and had already complained about the lack of firearm safety. So they knew she was a problem, and they chose to keep her.
And then you have Dave Hall over here acknowledging that there's fucking rounds and a gun and handing it off, saying it's a cold gun. That's dope. I know he did that. Yeah. Is that even in the affidavit? Like, how are they getting this information?
Well, he did an interview and he told people.
What an idiot.
Oh my god.
Well. That's true. Anyways, guys, we have a video to close us out for the night.
Hey.
This from Gigi Evan.
Ooh.
Hey, Kamala! That moon up there looks like a big old pearl! You should add it to your necklace! Yeah! Yo! Joe Biden! Let's do it! Biden, baby! Biden, baby! Alright, stop! Sniff a kid and listen! Brandon's back with my brand new invention! China grabs a hold of me tightly, raising your taxes ever so slightly. Will I ever stop the, I don't know, turn off your lights and money flow to the extreme? I build back like Obama, take away your rights and feel up your mama. Crack, hunters baiting on Zoom, make sure to wear a mask when you're in the bathroom. Fauci, are the airplanes running? Build back better so your kids can't function. Arrest all the parents, you better obey. Depending on us, the government don't play. There hasn't been a problem since Trump's last day. Hold it real quick, what's the teleprompter say? Yeah. Joe Biden, baby, yeah. Joe Biden, baby, yeah. Hey, Kamala, get away from the border. Word to Ilhan's brother.
For just 35 cents a month.
Ask for more.
Excuse me?
You went in pretty low. These guys are begging for money. You're asking for 35 cents.
I'm just trying to help, okay?
I know you are, but you need to ask for a little bit more money.
Fine. Please. For just $100 a day.
That's a little too much.
well, how much should I ask for then?
$1 a month is fine.
$1 a month. All right, fine. For just $1 a month.
There you go.
You should help the United Spots. Donate to their PayPal account today. Good night, patients.